their lunch, so we will have more people coming in later. Oh, this is online. It's also on Facebook live streaming.
All right.
We are still.
You tell me when I'm ready to get started.
You can start. Now we see your screen, so we'll try to pull your face next to your PowerPoint. Let us do that, but focus on what you want to say.
Right. It looks great now.
Tell me when.
We're ready.
All right, good afternoon for the folks who made it now early to our session. Thank you very much for joining us. Again, my name is Oko. I am also from Techstars. I work as the Senior Director based out of Singapore as part of the ecosystem development team. Rosa and David will share more about Techstars, but you know what I can tell you is I've been with the company for 6 years. I've worked in the region of APAC, building communities, helping startups, launching our accelerator programs all over Asia Pacific region. In today's event, before we kick off today's event and explain kind of what is happening, I wanted to kind of take a couple minutes to explain to you how this event connects to a larger mission of Techstars and the community that we're trying to achieve in Taiwan. So as you guys might or might not know, Techstars is working with Ministry of Science and Technology as well as Qualcomm on helping further develop the startup ecosystem in Taiwan. We've started our work a little over a year ago. This is our officially year 2, but we actually did our startup week in 2018 originally. And one of the first things we do when we go into ecosystems, we try to understand the ecosystem, right? And the way we do it is we run a pretty extensive assessment. So we try to understand what is going on. We try to understand who's who. We try to understand what is this ecosystem known for. What is its weaknesses? What are some opportunities for the community players, etc. And one of the things we do in our assessment is we do this analysis, so all these wordy things. But the important thing I wanted to maybe show you guys is when we finished our assessment, that's one of the assets that we produced, which is this graphics. I know it's hard for you guys to see from there. But I'm going to explain a few things. All these little dots on this graphics are startups. Not just any startups, but startups who are revenue generating, who have employed people. They're all Taiwanese startups. And then the big dot on the top, you can't read it, but it says Taiwan Startup Stadium. And then the other one to your right would be Taiwan Tech Arena. And then you see these connections between these dots. Now, if you could see better, what you will see is that these lines between these dots are actually different colors. And these colors mean something. The orange color means support. How are these, for instance, Taiwan Startup Stadium, how are they supporting startups? You can see there are a lot of lines coming out of stadium connecting to all these startups. You also see some of the lines that are experienced, former employees or startups connecting with each other. They're either hiring each other's employees or helping each other develop, etc. And then there are also there are actually several, but not as many green lines. And green lines talk about investments. It shows which dot helped which dot, which organization or which company invested in which company. So this is a network analysis we got in Taiwan. Now, if you guys are interested, we'll be happy to show you guys. In fact, this assessment will be ready in local language and in English, available to you guys very soon. We haven't disclosed it publicly yet, but it will be. And one of the things we know that we all worry about, we all want to kind of create ecosystems like Silicon Valley or London or Tel Aviv in our hometowns. We want that in Taiwan as well. And we know that in a good ecosystem, we want to see more of those blue lines between these dots. What that means is that we want to see entrepreneurs helping entrepreneurs. We want to see Taiwanese founders mentoring, investing, supporting other Taiwanese founders. But it turns out that that connection is not there as much as we would like to see it there. Instead of that, what we see is we see a lot of lines from the government-funded institutions to the founders. Now, we're not saying that these connections between government agencies to founders are bad. We just want to see more of the other lines, which is connection between founders. So that is one of the outcomes that we saw as a result of the assessment we did in Taiwan. And based on our experience, and Techstars has been doing this for 12 years now all over the world. We run 50 accelerators all over the world. We have some kind of community programming in more than 800 cities around the world. That is more than Starbucks, by the way. And from our experience, what we learned is that in order to create more connection between founders, we could be doing several things. And one of them is to encourage mentorship. And yes, everybody talks about mentorship, and we do plenty of mentorship in Taiwan as well. But we also know that there might be a right way of doing it, and maybe not so much. And through today's program that we're organizing here today, is we're trying to encourage that mentorship. We're trying to increase the connection, the blue connection between startups. We're trying to show people that mentors are everywhere, that every startup founder, no matter what stage of their journey they are in, they can be mentoring somebody else. In fact, sometimes you don't even need to be a founder to be mentoring somebody else. Every one of us has something we can share and be helpful to founders. And that's what today's event is about. At our accelerator programs that Techstars is known for, one of the first things we do is what we do, this mentor madness. Because we also know that until you meet that mentor, you really don't know how will this person, he or she, can be helpful to your company or to your project. And only by meeting with them and interacting with them and telling them about your story and hearing about their story, knowing about their life stories and their experiences and professional careers, and also them hearing about your ideas, your projects, your startups, your difficulties, that you can find out whether that person can be effective in mentoring you. And in today's event, we're hoping to facilitate some of that mentor madness activity, but in a different experimental model. This is the first time we're doing it globally like this, so we're really excited. We have some startups. So one thing I want to encourage is there's no right or wrong today. The main thing we ask from everybody is be dedicated, pay attention to that time slot you're given, right? Spend time, be helpful to each other as much as possible. Ask questions openly and freely and in a very radically candid manner. There is no such thing as a good question or a bad question. I can tell you that I founded several companies, and you never know, what you are missing in terms of information and help. Yeah, and so we hope that this will be helpful. This is again one of many mentorship development programs that we're doing in Taiwan, and founder support programs we're doing in Taiwan. We hope you will enjoy it, and finally, we hope that we will see more of the connections between the startup dots here that you see on this map after programs like this. Good luck today.
Great.
And hope to see you guys soon.
Great, thank you, Oko. So when Oko say hope to see you guys soon, it's true, because he is willing to come to Taiwan and quarantine for 2 weeks, and then join our Star Week in November. So good news is that Oko is coming, and he will visit us, see us physically. Thank you, Oko. Great sharing, great introduction.
Bye, Oko.
So great introduction to talk about our mentor madness and also introduce about our mentorship. Now let's, before I introduce our mentors, I invite David to talk about what's so-called mentor madness and what's today's rules.
Just like Oko said, Mentor Madness is part of our accelerators. It's the first month of our program, and it's where all of the founders and the 10 teams and their team members, they meet with 100 to 150 mentors in a week. And from people that see that mentor engagement, they dubbed it Mentor Madness because it drove them mad to be meeting so many people in such a short amount of time, and the amount of connections that come from one mentor, introducing them to different connections, it's overwhelming in a sense. So today we want to create that sense of overwhelming feedback and information to the founders that are going to be pitching later. So what I've asked the mentors through email was, we'll try to mimic that experience. It won't be the same thing, but we want to overload these founders with feedback. And what we call mentor whiplash, which is whipping the founders all over the place, and then they'll be contemplating, what am I doing this for, and what is my company about? I don't really know anymore. And that's a good process for them to go through so they can have more data to work with. All of the feedback that the mentors give them is a data point that they can use to make a decision for themselves. Because at the end of the day, people running the startups are the founders themselves. So the more we can give them and the more connections they can make, they can empower themselves with better decision making. So that's what we want for the founders. And so that's what we're going to do today. And then for the formatting, it will be 6-minute pitching from our founders. And we have a Q&A session and a feedback session, but it's a very seamless program. So we'll just have the mentors take over and have them have a dialogue for around 25 minutes. So a lot more conversation dialogue instead of pitching.
Right. To follow up on what Oko just said, there is no there's no right or wrong. There's no bad or good question. So today it's all about educational. 所以呢，我要跟大家说，如果等一下在6分钟英文的 pitch 之后，如果你们觉得听不懂刚刚 mentor 用英文问你们的问题，可以轻松的说，可以再说一遍吗？那我们在 dialogue 的那个时段，大家可以互动，然后活泼。当然，我们也希望这是一个很好的机会，让团队能够用英文 pitch， 然后如果能够用英文对答 ，it's even better.
And then another thing I want to add is,
right, sure.
Don't be afraid to ask mentors questions on stage. So if they give you feedback and you're like, why do you think that? Just ask the mentor why, right? Go ahead, challenge their thoughts as well, because you need to work with them, right? So.
Right. I also want to encourage the teams that you show up today. You're the chosen ones. You are being selected. So be proud of it. 那大家如果有任何问题，可以转成中文。The reason why I want to do this in English, it's recorded. And David and I, we will send this across all over our Techstar global network among 50 accelerators. Right now, it's currently the active one around 46. So firstly, you will be connected to our global network. And for the audience, the staff teams sit here, come to David and me. We will meet you one-on-one. We are preparing the one-pager, then send out to the global network. Try to connect what's happening this morning. Matt Lin from Far Eastern, she mentioned she was supporting a startup in Taiwan. They are doing AR. She also observed another company in Germany did the same thing, got acquired by Google. So what's the reason why our AR company didn't see by the Google sourcing? That's why, because they are not producing English content. Techstar here in Taiwan, we are meet up with the teams in person, one-on-one, and we will support you to do the one-pager and then connect to our global network.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's.
Without further ado, I'll let Rosa introduce the mentors quickly,
Right.
And then we'll start pitching. So get ready, please.
We will follow by the alphabetical order. Firstly, let me introduce our mentor, Alec. Alec, stand up, wave your hand, look at our audience. So Alec Liu from Mingzhou Keji. So we have Alan Huang from AWS. Alan. Then we have Andrew Yang from Presentality, co-founder and director. We have Chris Davis, our technology industry advisor. We have Flora Xie from Sparkless. We have Lucia Lucia Liao from Gage Tech is under ESA Group. We have Mark Howard from the co-owner of ESKO. Lastly, that's Yan, because it starts from, with Y. So last one is Yan Li from High Ventures. That's today's mentors, and now we are going to invite our first team.
I
David,
think there's a photo op.
this time?
So
Okay.
we stand there.
With all these mentors.
Yes.
Do they need to come up?
No, we will.
你就下来走 Yeah. Very casual, right?
Hey, Joe.
So who's gonna take a picture? Oh. Where? 哪里？哦。
我们要看哪里？那个摄影师在那边。
哦。Oh, let's wait for the camera. 没有，他们等一下会从这边照。
哦，OK。我以为是全部讲完，是现在。
Yeah. 那你在那边，然后我在这边。
让我们的摄影师。
摄影师要不要上台帮我们照一下？你是那个主角。不会。那我就站着好了，我站着好了。哎，他照这边哦，不是那边哦。
这边吗？好，准备哦，看这边，一、二、三，下一张，一、二、三。
摄影师是不是通常会让大家开心一下？地瓜叶好了，来，我说地瓜，你说耶。
OK，
谢谢 Thank you. So now let's invite Debbie to introduce our first team.
Our first team is Alphys. Veronica will be pitching today. A short, brief introduction of Alphys. Alphys is a company that is providing nurses and empowering them with monitoring solutions in wards, and that they can focus on better helping their patients instead of managing the wards and office work. So let's welcome Alphys.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Veronica from iFast, and thanks for having us. We are truly grateful. iFast is a startup company providing smart ward solution. It is no doubt that smart healthcare is a trend, and the market size of smart ward is big and is still growing. So, first thing first, we need to know what exact service is needed to help medical staff to shorten their workload. The next thing we need to pay attention is how to minimize construction need when deploying system. If nurse station is shut down to construct and deploy smart systems, earnings will decrease $150,000 per station per day. The last thing we need to deal with is management burden. More and more systems are emerging. Screens and displays are everywhere. There are too many systems and screens, making medical staff have to manage 15 to 25 more systems, more interfaces, and this situation needs to be changed. So, we have to satisfy three needs when designing a smart ward system. The first need, what is a hardcore service in ward? Nurse call is the must-have equipment in wards, and now it is time to evolve. This is iVaCall, our self-designed IP-based smart nurse call. It can fulfill the need other than smart calling, but with Wi-Fi mesh node to connect. And we designed it with plug-and-play design to make it the most easy-to-use smart nurse call. iVaCall can fulfill service like smart call to reach two-way communication, to raise nurse and patient relationship. Wi-Fi mesh node to complete wards network coverage to 100%, and to act as access points to connect and manage other IoT devices. When medical staff are busily taking care of patients, they cannot be distracted by other incidents. So, we create Eye, a device designed to help medical staff to take an eye on ward safety and patient safety. We use thermal as a tool to protect patients' privacy, letting us to detect patients' postures and ward situation. Combined with our in-house AI algorithm, I can fulfill service like abnormal heat warning wards, fall detection through body posture detecting, and bed sore prevention through body turnover rate. The second need, how to minimize station downtime when deploying system. With greatly decreased construction need by product design, We use plug-and-play design to waive cable needs, and we need only 3 to 5 days to deploy our whole system, which is 4 times faster than others. We do not need to shut down station at all, so hospitals can function normally and still maintain their income. We minimize construction needs so we can decrease at least 20% of system costs and save 50% of back and forth discussion time with construction team. And the last need, how to put all interfaces on one display to fulfill one-stop management. This is IVA Board, our self-designed interface to integrate with hospital systems, to interact with IVA-I and IVA-Call, and to show patients and ward situation. We utilize web-based design to display across devices and to accommodate different interfaces across systems. We aim at the necessary need, lower cost to lower entry barrier, and we utilize web-based design to avoid API exchanging process to solve who pays problems, letting us, hospitals, patients, and other vendors happy, creating a multi-win scenario. Since we break down the needs to build a smaller system, we have outstanding advantages to fulfill more things than others. For the past 9 months since we've started, we utilize our flexibility to deal with COVID situation. We remodel IVA-I to detect body temperature, successfully sold the system to 5-star hotels and regional hospitals. A few months ago, hospitals need to check patients' travel history. We used only 2 weeks to build an automatic system, helping hospitals to save 80% of checking time and 50% of manpower need. Through this system, we successfully entered Wanbang Hospital, Furen Hospital, NTU Hospital, and Shouchuan Hospital. For our smart ward system, we made great progress as well. We are cooperating with different hospitals and partners to train and verify our AI model. And our system has already deployed in NTU Hospital Beihou branch. And we are discussing the chance to display our IVA-Call in NTU Hospital next year. And we aim to deploy our system on 10,000 beds in Taiwan from now to 2024. And we expect to deploy on 25 beds in Japan, Thailand, Malaysia, and Singapore from 2022 to 2024. And we can sell our systems to direct sales agents and partners, and we can add up our income to maintenance, subscription, or software upgrade. And solely by direct sales and agents and partners, we can reach break-even point in 2 years. Our members come from smart healthcare, investment, business, and medical field, making us a really strong team. And we partnered with many deans and doctors, cooperated with many doctors, and we are now based in BE Accelerator and Garage Plus. And we are now raising the angel round of $500,000, which will be used on R&D, manpower, POC trial, fitting our 15 months of capital need. And thanks for listening.
So it's time for mentors to shine. If there's not enough mics, we have 2 mics here, so you can go away and start asking questions.
And our CTO, Michael, will come on stage as well.
Now it's the mentor's time to be shy.
I'll start.
Now you know why we prepared the afternoon tea.
No worries. So a couple of things as you were speaking that struck me. One is I think the idea that you're bringing forward is interesting. The delivery, though, and I know you're under a time crunch. My first feedback is the message of what you're trying to deliver got lost in the speed of you presenting it. So one suggestion would be to take the delivery that you've got here and get it down to just like 2 or 3 slides or 5 slides maybe, and really refine your message and go a little bit slower. I'm not sure I heard what the value add is. I saw you were trying to solve 3 problems. Hardcore services, I think is what you said, and then accelerate or lower construction costs. And then the last one was, I think, integrating everything into one user interface. So I caught that. I have a technical background, but a lot of the things that you mentioned would fly over the heads of people that don't have technical background. So that would be my first input. The second one is you mentioned something quickly called the who pays problem. I think if you're going to present solutions, I think it's helpful to hear a short story about what the problem is first. Because you guys might be really familiar with the healthcare system and what those problems are, but people that you're talking to may not. And they may not have a great appreciation for some of those finer details. And so slowing down, telling a story about somebody having a problem, and then here's how we solve that problem, can be an effective way to get your point across. So that would be my initial input.
Hello, this is Lucia. And my opinion is similar because you spoke very quickly. So actually, I cannot really catch what you mentioned. I just feel, okay, that is an amazing company. But actually, when you talk about your competition or your advantage, I don't really know the detail. Maybe later on you can elaborate a bit. And also, one of my questions is because we know the healthcare system is usually quite localized, right? So I'm impressed about you say you are going to spread to Japan, Thailand, and another I didn't see clearly, Singapore, I guess. So can you maybe explain how you go abroad and whether it's the SI you work with or you simply work with the hospital directly? Yeah.
We are going to cooperate with local SI, and we are going to package our whole system and how to deploy our system. So we simplify our system and test our system in Taiwan, and we want to package the whole system to DSI locally and let them to run the business and sell the system for us. So that's our plan.
Do you two want to explain more? Like they gave you feedback, and then what do you think about the feedback, and how would you change and better explain? It's a conversation between you guys. It's not like
Okay.
Don't be so nervous.
So maybe I will simplify the presentation, and you want to know more about the competitors, right? So
Yeah, exactly.
maybe I
If you
can
could,
go back
yeah.
to it. Okay. Because we highlight our service, the hardware service, and we highlight zero downtime and multi-run collaboration. That's our value and what we want to convey. So we use this point and to compare with our competitors. And in our point of view, they do something. They do IoT devices. Maybe they do software. Maybe they do platform. But they didn't do a whole system and what we structured and what we think about the healthcare market. So this is why we present this, and maybe you can know it more clearly through mine. Yeah.
All right, so I get this. I understand the slide. I can read the rows on the left-hand side. I guess I'm having trouble connecting those things that you guys care about with what the actual people on the other side that are going to buy the system care about. Like, what's the connection between network infrastructure, and if I'm a hospital administrator and I want to buy your system, how does that help me? Like, I see you comparing that nobody else has it, but I don't even know if I want it.
Okay, I see. For our point of view, because in Taiwan,
And sorry, Veronica, not just network infrastructure, but each one of those things.
Okay. Smart code, nurse code is a must-have equipment, so it is necessary, and we want to upgrade the nurse code to something new, and it can combine with more uses like network coverage and help hospital to increase their coverage. Because in Taiwan, the hospital's network coverage is not always 100%, and it is some advantage for us to help them to structure their network coverage. So this is the number 1 and 2. And
so you mentioned that's a problem in Taiwan. Is it a problem everywhere? Do you know?
Everywhere?
Everywhere's a big word. But,
Is it a problem in other markets besides?
at least in Japan and Malaysia, yes. Because previously we have connection with other SIs in Malaysia, in Thailand, in Hong Kong, and we know that they need these kind of services. Also with nurse calls, they need something new, some IP-based digital nurse call systems. But what I wanted to say that for the network infrastructure is that there will be more and more IoT devices in the smart board situation because we want to provide more services for patients. Medical personnel need to know their situations, whether they're in bed or not, whether they're about to fall or not, and maybe their vital signs. But all of these comes down to how the data is transferred to the data server inside the hospital. So network infrastructure is actually one of the big things that the hospital's management team are actually thinking about. But they are not able to do so because most of the time the infrastructure has been built like tens of years ago, and it's not easy for them to renew. So the plug and play mesh node is actually one of the quickest way for them to build the network infrastructure for their later usage.
Okay. So say that next time.
Sure, noted.
That makes a lot of
Great
sense. Yeah, because what you presented when we talked about this was, you said, here's a problem that these people are suffering from, and here's the solution that, by the way, nobody else, we don't think any other people offer that solves that problem. People will get that. You don't need to be a network expert to understand.
Thanks.
Sure, yeah, I totally agree with what Chris said. And what I often tell teams is that I don't necessarily like this checklist way of presenting things because your audience doesn't always have the necessary background to understand among all of this, and I've seen more, like 10, 12 different features, the comparison, why are you picking these? And where is the critical differentiation? Because when there's a differentiation that's really important to the people you want to adopt the solution, but you're hiding it among 10 things, the impact is lessened, right? And when you were just having that conversation with Chris, what you said, there's something important in there, which is you can reframe it from the position, from the perspective of your clients. Because we were talking to a lot of hospital administrators and management teams, and what they kept saying to us was this is really important. And they went out there and they were looking for solutions, they couldn't find a good one, right? Don't put it in your words. Because when we're listening to you, we're always wondering, okay, that is your perspective, because everybody thinks their solution is good. But when you put it in the words of your clients and your customers, that has, I think, more persuasive power. Right? So pick out the really critical differentiation and bring that up earlier. Because I believe that if earlier in your presentation, and this is speed related as well, if you bring it up earlier and you explain it really well, like this is the most important thing, and this is why we're different, then this slide, you may not even need it. You just need it later for due diligence. But actually, VCs, like if you ask Ian, he's going to do his own diligence. Like, they have people, they have teams doing the full report. They won't believe necessarily just trust what you give them. But that critical difference, the 最核心的那个不同, bring it up earlier and highlight that. And don't let other less important information get in the way of that.
You call out the VC.
Yeah, you called out Yen. I think Yen is a speaker.
Sorry. Sorry, man.
Just to be clear, the team is me, so there aren't going to be many teams just doing reports and stuff, but thanks, Andrew, for a shout out. Actually, I have I think, very simple question, but fundamental one. I think this slide aside, right? You have two main products. You have IFSI and you have the nurse call product, right? I think for IFSI, you were very clear why that clients needed it. But when you were talking about nurse call, basically, what is wrong with current nurse call systems that really require fixing? And from the conversation just now, you basically explained that they need something new, but what? I don't actually get that. Right now, I just press a button and then someone talks to me immediately. It doesn't seem like there's a problem there.
Okay. The smart healthcare is now a trend, and they are transforming to build more IoT devices. So nurse call upgrade is one of their targets, and they want to do this because the traditional nurse call, I don't remember the term of this. They cannot do what we are similar with, because they cannot do like something like line to call nurse or to do the two-way communication. So they can only just click the button and the whole station just alarms and let the environment very loud, and they cannot increase patient and nurse relationship. And that's one of the main target that they want to deploy the smart nurse call. And I think this solely smart nurse call, it is not that big. So we put Wi-Fi national in it, and we want to make this infrastructure for hospitals and combine with calling application. So maybe this bound is more powerful and let us to convey our thoughts and let hospitals to buy in our thought. And this is why NTU Hospital likes our thought, and we are discussing the chance to deploy our call in their hospitals.
So let me explain a little bit about the traditional nurse call. I don't think there's anything wrong with the traditional nurse call because they can functional. They are functional as it is. If the patient just press the button, then nurses will get alarmed. Either just alarm the whole station and not just one nurse knows that, or just specific to the station desk that somebody will pick up the phone. So there's nothing wrong with it, it's not enough. Most of the time we can see that on the bedside there will be patient information written on papers saying that the patient's name, special symptoms or such things. It is a trend now that it could be electronized. So it would be like an electrical display having show the patient's name and all the other symptoms and maybe some actions like nurse call. So here we check some other companies that they have nurse calls functions. They have a bedside electronic card displaying the patient's name and with the nurse calling function. But this is not enough because this simply combines these two functions. And the hospital needs to have other information APIs for them to do this kind of display on the bedside and also the nurse call. So what we think is that we could enrich more functions into this device. Basically because it is at the bedside, so a lot of things can be done through here. This could be the gateway with many IoT devices that's related to the patient at this bed, and then going through this gateway, through this portal, to the server in the hospital. This is actually a pretty important strategic place for any kind of device that may be happen around bed, around smart world. So I think empowering smart call or nurse call, smart nurse call with more function is one of the key things that we're thinking about. And it's also because I thought we clearly stated that IFI has the function of doing patient safety, work safety. And the patient safety that comes with smart call is because the patient is able to
可以用中文。
他们可以自主性的去呼叫。They can know that they have some needs to communicate with the nurses, while IFI is actually there automatically detecting their needs and alarming the medical personnel to take further actions.
4 more minutes, just a reminder.
Right, so Mark, you have a question? Because it's around time to do the summary. Mark, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So a long time ago, one of my first jobs was IT support at a hospital. Sorry. A long time ago, one of my first jobs was IT support at a hospital. Very long time ago. But one of the things I distinctly remember are the nurses there.
And one thing that nurses love are, of course, helping patients. One thing that they hate is learning new things, particularly IT. What I didn't hear is that pain factor with nurses. You know, when you're selling this to a hospital administrator, they want to make sure they're not getting a lot of pushback from their teams. So I didn't see any kind of education component. I didn't see sort of how this is very easy to learn. What I'm saying is there are 6 systems that are going to be replaced. So now nurses may have to learn 6 new systems. It sounds like it's complicated, and it's kind of like the old joke about IBM where no one ever got fired for buying IBM. I don't really hear that here. I don't hear like buying this system makes it's not only from a safe perspective, but it's actually making things easier for the nurses to learn. Therefore, the patients are treated better. But it sounds very complex, and maybe there's just a missing storytelling element. Kind of piggybacking on, I believe, what Chris was saying about just the story in general. Maybe consider starting with just from the perspective of maybe a healthcare administrator. So maybe if her name is Beth, this is Beth. Beth runs, a 10,000 bed hospital facility. Nurses are biting at her heels every day to make things easier. So basically working in more of a story element, but at the same time, take out the part about all the technical parts and maybe replace it with more of an education sort of thing to make it easier for this to sell eventually.
Thanks, Mark. I think that embeds in the one-stop display thing, but we forgot the details. We have to bring that out. Thanks.
Yeah, I definitely agree with, I think going back to the earlier question about what's the problem that you guys solve, and it seems like the answer to that is a trend. So that's what we're hearing in terms of what are you trying to, what's the actual pain point that you guys are trying to solve. And maybe there is a pain point there, but it's not really being delivered clearly.
Yeah, so
For the comment part, I also would like to invite mentors to, you can provide the comments for their answer. For example, Yan, you asked Rob the question, do you like their answer? Rephrase it or teach them, coach them how they can do better. So after you hearing their answers, how would you rephrase their answer? Do you like it? Do you buy in it? Or you no? Okay, so teach them. How would you say so? How would you say?
What do you think the 2 biggest pain points are for the customers that you guys are serving? Forget what's on the slide. What do you think that really, what he was asking about? What are the problems? What are the 2 problems you're trying to solve? Specifically, just those 2 problems, not necessarily those.
Why would I buy your system?
Why would I buy it at $30,000 a seat?
Okay. First, we can help you to raise your network coverage, and maybe this kind of infrastructure can help you to be the base when you upgrade your ward solution or your whole ward environment. And secondly, we see the must-have equipment and must-have application from nurse call to safety. So it is the 2 main needs in wards, and I think this is why hospitals like us, and our service and application is the main thing for them.
Okay, we're out of time, but me and Rose just discussed that we have a proposal for the mentors. After the 25 minutes of interaction and interviewing, if you're willing to schedule one-on-ones with the founders upstairs, helping them with their pitch, just by their names or by team number 1, say, I want to schedule a one-on-one, we'll make that happen.
Yeah, just write down yes or no.
Yes or no.
And we'll collect the number of yes.
So maybe there'll be 10 yeses, right?
That'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you. So for our next team, we have Teammate. Teammate Stefan will be coming on stage. Teammate is a connectable watch and universe for kids to create superheroes. So it's a very inspiring story, and I'll let Stefan talk about Teammate and his product.
Hi everyone, I'm Stefan, I'm the CEO of Teammate, and since I'm a little kid, I always dreamed to do this. But I wasn't the super fit kind of kid, so I was too ashamed to wear a superhero costume. Later on, the joke turned on me as I grew up as a morbid obesity adult, and I lost 80 kilos in 2003. And I wondered myself, am I the only one to daily struggle with this kind of issue? And realized that no, it's a huge problem all over the world. And actually, Asia is the fastest growing market, leading to 1.9 billion people overweight in the world, knowing that it's the first cause of death. So we thought, how can we address that? How can we engage kids in something as boring than health when the only thing they think about is to play, avoiding parents to be the bad cop? We thought the best things to do is to let them play. So we created Teammate. It's a universe for the kids where they're going to create their own superhero. They can choose if it's a guy or girl, and the hero going to live inside the watch. Or we are doing a software version that can turn any Android phone to a secure, safe Teammate device. We have our first version that I have right there, already selling in France. And we found an ODM partner with who we're working on the second version that will include 4G and a heart rate monitor. As we said, the hero created his own superhero. So it started as a kid figure superhero, so it's very easy for them to engage. And it grows depending on how the kid's going to choose. So if you put everything on a strength, the hero stays small but get very massive. If it's everything on a speed, it gets tall but thin, so you have to learn to balance. We also have some educative games to push education for the kids. They can use this superhero in many games. We have a fight game, strategy game, memory game, reflex game. We also have sport and educative games. But to do all those games and activity, the hero gonna need energy. So it's gonna feed from the kid energy. This way we motivate them to do sport and exercise. But the main idea behind Teammate Cool Fun Gaming Universe is to create the first health platform dedicated for kids. So we have already reminder for medication. You can do also allergy check. We include eyes profiles in case of emergency. And we are working and talking about other programs for ADHD, hemophilia, diabetic hospitalization. The watch includes a SIM card, allowing parents to do GPS tracking, SMS, phone calls, video calls. They also have an agenda where they can actually lock the watch during school time or night time. So this device is 3G. We're working on the 4G with all the features, and we already know the features we will develop for 5G version in 2 years. The watch have all the features kids love, video player, music player. We are even open to other editors, but with the same idea. For 1 hour entertainment, I need to do first 1 hour of physical activity. We're already selling in France. We are more in the fitness tracking and gaming industry, not a medical device. We want to be the Pokemon for health, like in the middle of all those universes. Because we don't consider ourselves as hardware company. We are looking for hardware brand to do co-branding, like Acer, for example. In order to reach all the big B2B, we're already talking with the 5 biggest telecoms company here in Taiwan, insurance, school, hospital, in order to, from B2B, reach the B2C. What we find out is all those big corporates actually are very interested in Teammate because instead of fighting for customers' attention when they're going to turn 16 or 18, they can reach and do brand awareness earlier stage. Why reaching a kid? Because actually you're not reaching one person, but you're going to reach 7 persons. And mainly, kids of today are your customers of tomorrow. So we are working here, already starting to work with a local team developers, and we think Taiwan is a great place for us to start on international market, also to use Taiwan as a hub to reach all Southeast Asia and US in the future. So we did some survey here with very positive feedback, and we want to focus in the next year on Taiwan market. If you can see all our competitors focus in one part of the program, where we are the only one to actually be useful for the kids, the parents, and also engaging for the kids. So our business model have many revenue streams. We are more focusing on the software as it's high margin and recurrent revenue. We are looking for right now $750K for second fundraise in order to create the team here and start the sales in internationals. So our team have all the skills necessary for teammate success, and we won many programs and contests. And to sum up, Teammate is empowering for the kids, health and education, but also communication with the parents. Thank you very much for your attention. 谢谢.
That was right on time. That was great.
Yeah, I have to speed up a bit.
Hi, Stefana. I like the way how you start with your presentation with your own true story. It's really, I think it's a very good start. I'm just curious what's an incentive for the kids to keep using the watch every day? Yeah.
So actually by playing together, they're going to collect points, and those points make their heroes stronger. So it's kind of the effect about you want your hero to beat your friends' heroes and the competition kind of, and we also going to provide new games every month. It's little games, so it's not complicated.
So we create our own comments?
Yeah. We created the whole universe. Like there is literally billion of combinations possible. So it's always very engaging for the kids because you want your hero to get always bigger, stronger, faster, and have more superpower.
So they have to interact with people who also have the watch. If they own it.
Oh no, they can play alone, but it's funnier to play together. Like it's like every video game, you know what, most of the time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have two daughters in elementary school, so I'm your target audience.
All right.
We can not overweight. And I have a question is that in my daughter's school, their teachers do not allow they bring any smart device to school.
Yeah.
And how do you solve this problem?
So first, as I mentioned, the parents can lock the watch. So during school time, the watch is locked on the screen. So we just give time, and I cannot do that and have access to the content. So it's not that for them. It's not bothering for school time. But also, as we have educative content, we actually pushing to school and educating kind of the teacher about the watch to make them understand that it's good for the kids' health and education, and not just only a game, you know, and not only like a communication device for the parents. It's actually go in the concept of the school.
Hey, Stefan.
Hi.
Hey, Stefan. Where do you, this initial storytelling was awesome, by the way. So that was a really good way to bring it forward. As you started to talk, though, it started to feel like this is a platform for, I'll say, advertising and marketing, which it sounds a little bit like it is. I don't know. But where do you draw the line? Because the story was this is educational and helps kids move and be active, which is great, a great message. And then you talked about there are lots of companies that want to target that audience, which, at least from a Westerner's point of view, people get a little bit maybe overly sensitive about, are you selling products to my child, basically? Where do you draw the line in your sort of philosophy as a company between this is good content and this is not good content? Like, how do you, I guess, message to corporations what you'll accept in terms of advertising, and I noticed in-app purchases and stuff like that. Because I think some parents don't want that part of it.
Yeah, and we don't want either, actually. I will define the line on two reasons. First, my personal ethic, that is actually higher than the law. But even on the law side, in France, US, and I think even in Taiwan, you cannot do advertising directly to kids. So in the watch, you will never have advertising. All the interest of those people is to actually reach a new market. So for example, telecoms, as our target is from the moment you start to read to the moment you get your own smartphone, so like 5 to 10 or something, we can help them to reach new customers, right? We can help them to sell more subscription, more data to a new audience. It's not about pushing too much their brands. We're not going to show up like messages and advertising on the watch. Also, like
So it's getting more devices out there to take advantage of those companies' bandwidth and programs, not a conduit of information to a child.
Yeah, no, we don't put like direct, and anyway, on a legal point of view, we won't be allowed to do direct communication and advertising.
I don't remember exactly which slide you showed, but there was one where I kind of felt, I didn't get that message. I'll just say that way. It may have been clear up there, but it didn't come across.
Actually, I had to speed up a little because I don't. But on the business model, I usually say that we don't sell the data. Like we don't use the data we're going to collect to sell to Coca-Cola or whatever. So we are very ethical on this point of view, and for us it's really to aim, in order to aim good health and good habit for the kids. For example, insurance companies are very interested because we do prevention on health. So studies show that if you invest €1 on prevention, you're going to save €2 for adults, but 5 for kids. So even just that is interesting for them. Thank you.
Hi, Stephen. I'm Lucia. Yeah, again, impressed about your stage. Just one question, because you mentioned your competition on majority are really the big companies, right?
Yes.
So what's your customer acquisition plan, and what's the cost so far you have seen? And what do you think you can really beat those giant companies?
Yeah, because most of the time, giant companies do one thing, right? Like you have Disney, for example, that do very good entertainment, very good universe. You have Acer or like Huawei or big technical hardware company that do very well that. And right now we're doing kind of both because we have to, but that's why also we're looking for those kind of partnerships because we know we're not going to do everything on our own very well. But I think so then our core advantage will be more compared to Disney, for example. Disney, they have many great brands like Marvel, Star Wars. Actually, you could see on the competitors, two of our competitors, the biggest one, bought the same license. They both find out with the same product with Star Wars and Marvel license. We created our own license that is engaging, kind of like, Tamagotchis, and so very emotional link with the kids. And I think it's our advantage compared to big license like Disney. Instead of dreaming to be Captain America, you're going to create your own. It's going to evolve with you and with your choices. Something that you cannot do like with big license. Captain America is Captain America. You're not going to change his way to be. You're not going to decide anything. So I believe our core value is about how to engage the kids in a different way than those big licenses. And for the hardware is, right now we're working with a big local ODM partners, but I don't think we have any added value on the hardware. So it's why it's important for us to find the right partner to co-branding, which can be useful for them also to reach
you market and do early brand awareness.
And one more question is, what's the alternative in your view that for the parents or for the kids to achieve the same target or same goal?
Sorry, I did not
What's the
say-
alternative
Oh,
solution in
yeah.
your view that the parents or the kid can acquire? I mean, besides using your solution.
So other devices just do.
What is your solution?
Yeah, like right now, for parents, most of the time they bought, on Alibaba you can buy for $50 like some communication watch. What happens is when they buy it after like 2 or 3 weeks, they find out that kids don't wear it anymore, and they have to push the kids to wear it or force them because it's not engaging for the kids. Also, you have some. In the survey we asked the priority of parents, and the first came health. And in the survey we asked them, what do you do to follow and track the health of your kids? 50% of people say we don't do nothing. They don't have any solution. So it's where I think there is a missing part here in the market, where parents concerned on health of the kids, obviously, but they don't have any right device. And it's where most of the time all our competitors, or they do something for the parents, or they do something for the kids. But I think it's where we manage to reach both needs and desire.
Stefan, that was a great presentation. I love the thing you do with the shirt. Definitely classic. The thing that I'm seeing here is, I think about my nieces, and they'll say what they want for Christmas, and anything that mommy decides to give them, they don't want. They want to tell her what they want. So at the end of the day, my question is, what is keeping these kids from keeping the device on their wrist? I saw that you made some good points about how competitors have failed because kids buy, it's the product is bought, but then the kids get tired of it. Then I think you mentioned that you're providing some incentives. Can you talk a little bit more about those incentives? It looks like you had some sort of gamification or some sort of karma. I feel like behavior is going to be a big element of success. Can you expound on that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I fully agree with you. That's the key point. So it's where we for example, the one of the rules of the game is to unlock your superpower. You have to be part of a team of 8 and create your own team of 8. Reason of the name. So basically, kids gonna motivate each other also to wear the watch, like to get their own devices. So and also it's gonna be very addictive to them, because as what we find out in the way they're using it actually right now is, as we planned it to be this way, but there is no two kids that using the same way. We both have a smartphone. I'm pretty sure we don't have the same apps in it. I'm pretty sure we don't use it the same way. So for kids, some kids prefer to do the educative games, some kids prefer the fight games, some kids prefer the sport games. So it's why we created this whole universe with rules, but after we let the kids decide what they want. And it's why also I agree it's important for us to provide monthly new features, new games, to keep it always interesting, and basically to grow from a little superhero to the big one. It takes you 1 to 2 years. So it takes time, and it goes like exponential. So it's easy at the beginning to make your hero grow, but the deeper you go, the harder it is to step another level. So it's all designed to be quite addictive. And the watch is Android based, so it's easy for other people to adapt or create content in the watch. So for example, some other games that I could have mentioned, if tomorrow they want to create a version that fits in the watch, we'll be more than happy to and welcoming.
I didn't see anything about your customer acquisition costs, but it seems like it has a large potential for viral growth, particularly if you can get the economics right of these kids actually sharing with others. You said you have to have a team of 8. So there seems to be this FOMO component, this fear of missing out. And if you can somehow get these kids to actually, share that in a way that's compelling, where it's like, I have this, you don't. I feel like that can be a big part of it, just to kind of keep that customer acquisition cost. 'Cause otherwise, you're in a space that, you have, I've seen, 6 competitors just on your screen, and you can believe they're, really outspending on marketing that have larger budgets. So I believe this viral component has to be a big element and to be really clearly thought out.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. It's why at the beginning we want to focus on the B2B side to have those first watch in schools and those first watch in those communities, because we know once you have one there, it's going to grow and it's going to become viral. So the hardest part, as you mentioned, is to get this first one. By finding the big corporates' interest and make sure that, for example, we had one Nestle who bought 50 watch from us to do a social network campaign in Portugal. So that's a way for us to just have like some advertising for free. Actually, they bought it, so we even had some money up. And the main thing is those watch going to be spread in some new region, and those people be going to use us to show like how good they are with the kids, but also then spread the message for us.
Thanks, Stefan. I think that was definitely a great presentation, but it kind of confused me. Maybe it's just me, but as an investor, it would look great when you say how addictive this platform is going to be for a kid. But as a parent, then I start fearing. So it's kind of a conflict over there. But I think generally from a presentation perspective, there was one word that really scared me. Was the word addictive. So because you can't tell if the investor is going to be a parent or not, so maybe change the wording in general. But I think generally the flow of the presentation was great. I think what my question would be is, do you see yourself in the bigger picture of things, in the longer run of things? Do you see yourself as a hardware device company? Do you see yourself as a software platform? Platform, or do you see yourselves as a content creator? Because this would affect how you want to take this business forward, whether you want to be a more hardware agnostic play over just producing your own devices, where your revenue is going to come from. Well, what are the contributions? Is it going to be in-app payments in future? Is it going to be device hardware? How is that weightage going to shift over time? I think that core positioning is something that would be something most investors would be concerned with. So I don't know what
we definitely don't consider ourselves as hardware company. That's for sure. Actually, for me, the goal right now is to sell enough watch to have like big partners and just become a license to them. So we create the software, we give them, we get percentage of every sale. That's my main goal. After between a platform and content provider, it's kind of tricky because the whole thing is that differentiates us from Disney, for example, is the fact that we have a good impact on the health. Disney, Nintendo tried that, they failed as big as they are because nobody, I think, trusts them so much to care about the kids. I think as it's our core value and as have been a personal experience, people might trust us more. Also that we do the partnership with hospital and all. But I know that we would be successful when we would have the cartoon on TV and the comic book selling and stuff, because then it's generating revenue but also advertising for you. So like we actually created the whole universe and story for later on. But that's kind of the goal we aim to become like the Pokemon for health and be in the middle of those.
I personally think it would be very interesting to see how you could evolve this into with your IP, with your core content, how do you evolve this into a full platform, just focused on kids. I think back in the day when Android first came out, there were multiple versions of Android that were designed to be adaptive for very specific uses. Now we're seeing for aging population. There are certain formats or versions of Android that aren't designed for a certain purpose. And if you could be that version, the standard for kids' health and safety monitoring, I think, and you start building an ecosystem around that, I think might be a very interesting position going forward.
That's helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Six more minutes left, so keep going.
Or if you have any questions for the mentors, you can ask them too.
Yeah, so Stefan, I think we did that earlier on. So, yeah, great presentation, and I think it's great. It's a great mission. My one suggestion maybe would be to, there's a simple fact is that I don't think we would understand your presentation because we're not kids.
I don't think kids will understand the presentation.
Right.
Well, you give them and the presentation is done. Like,
my point is, this is a very competitive space, and smart kids for smartwatches for kids definitely sell, or any kind of pockets like these sell. So my one suggestion would be to lead with the numbers rather than anything else. Talk more about what you've done with Nestle, talk more about what you've done with other big partners. And then I think everything else is just sugar on top of that. Thanks.
Yeah, I understand like your
Hi. So I'm very curious about, you said you're selling in France already, correct?
Yeah.
How is that done? Is that through a telco?
No, right now we've done it in France through our own marketing and stuff, because I love my country, but it's a very tricky market. For example, when you talk about GPS tracking on kids, actually in the first contest we won was with Orange Telecom, and they did some kind of big marketing test for us from the very beginning. And what we find out is parents' first feedback and impression in France is, oh, I don't want to spy on my kid. I don't want to virtual leech on my kid. And so it happened to be in France very complicated for all, even our competitor. There is no like big trend in that and big leader in this market in France, because we have some kind of principle that makes sense of it. But when you have a kid 5 to 10, you should always know where they are. There is no privacy here to not know. So we find out that here in Taiwan and Asia, actually it's the reverse. The first thing people ask me when I show the watch is, do you do that? And if we don't, we know they're not going to be interested. So it's why we want to focus here, and it's why in France we had a slow start just to prove reaction of the kids and collect some but not as much. And that we decided to focus on international at first before, instead of fighting to grow in a market that is not that interested.
Actually, I was going to make a point, but you made that point for me already. As a Taiwan parent, my number one question is how do I track my kid?
Yeah.
And actually, what I was going to say, the point I was going to make actually was that would be the killer app for a Taiwan parent.
Yeah.
So, but you didn't quite answer my original question, which was how is it being sold in France? It's not through a telco. It's not through Orange.
It's because for Orange, for example, there was we love the project, we love the concept, everything, but right now for us, Big Telecom is too tricky to get into this field. So they don't sell in France. None of the telecoms sell a GPS tracking kits device. Because for them, they know that if they do that, there will like 1% of the market that's gonna scream and shout so loud that do a revolution, we're good at that. So they're gonna protest against them to track the kids, even if it's not what we do. Like only the parents can do, and we don't use the data. But their first impression in France is gonna be that. So like those telecom just drop the idea.
Okay. So the audience that doesn't know, we've known each other for a while. So you've made huge progress. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Leland. By the way, Leland's an ad hoc mentor. He's been part of our mentor for a long time, and he showed up today, so we put it into the mentor message. Just so you guys know who he is. And we want to remind you guys that people in the audience, you have to take note and understand and take it in, because at the end we'll show you a QR code and it's outside as well. I want you guys to vote on your favorite team, and we'll pick 3 winners to eat lunch with these crazy mentors. So listen and give the feedbacks to the teams as well. So thank you for the
Thank you very much.
Now we have the Team 3. JGB Smart Property, the best partner to manage the rental property in Southeast Asia, and one of the best property superstars. With the significant rise of long-term residential leasing market in Asia, JGB provides all-in-one solution PMS, property management system for rental property, cloud-based SaaS platform with real-time performance analytics. Welcome, JGB.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. I'm Joanna, the CEO of JGB Smart Property. I heard that there's a voting from all the audience, right? So all the audience might be very pay attention because JGB Smart Property pay high attention on rental property market. This is related with your daily life, okay? So we looked at rental property market because I believe most of you guys have the experience lease apartment, rent apartment in a city, right? No matter it's Taipei, Taichung, Taoyuan, San Francisco, Los Angeles. Okay, so what we solve the problem is your owner. And it's your owner and your property owner, or I would say that the property management firms and the real estate agency. Okay, so we provide the all-in-one rental property management system for the property owners and the real estate agents firm and the property management company or asset management company. Yeah. So we provide the all-in-one SaaS platform with a cloud solution, real-time data analysis, and support layer, several layer IoT and relevant devices. Yeah. So probably solve the problem because I believe many of you, once you have the experience to rent an apartment in a city, you probably have ever facing a problem of like a air conditioning problem, or maybe toilet problem, or maybe you want to extend your lease term, or you want to early terminate your lease term with your landlord. All the problems you might facing, but however, please expect and imagine what happened with your owner or property managers. Because they might manage more than maybe not just 5 units, but maybe 50 units. And the clients of JGB Smart Property, most of our clients, they manage more than 100 units in a city to 500 units. I would say it's a studio, or 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, or maybe co-working space is also one of our category clients. When they need to manage more than 100 units, 100 tenants. How do they are dealing with this problem? Everybody come to them, I have a problem with my aircon, I have a problem with my toilet every day. Okay, so this is our system to help them to save their money, save their time with our management system. Okay, so we provide 6 core features, including property vacancy, online lease contract with e-signature, and finance analysis with online payment solution, and online repair orders support when their tenants report to the managers. And we support their smart lock and relevant IoT devices, and they could have a tenant management portion. Yeah. So here is a floor of property management. So what I say about rental property market is because we are focused on rental property market instead of sell and buy market. So because maybe I believe many of you have heard about 信义房屋、永庆房屋 59159A. It's a major marketplace for the property for sale and both for sale and for rent in Taiwan. But also maybe in Southeast Asia market, Property Guru, talking with a video. Okay, Property Guru is a major player for the Southeast Asia market when they find a rental apartment, or they try to buy a new apartment. So this major player is existing in the market and for more than 10 years. And their core business is doing the marketplace, search, and matching, yes. But however, JGB is doing the all-in-one solution, including contract work, handover, and rental collection every month, and renew the contract, or maybe some inquiry, repair, moving and move out, inspection, and deposit settlement and cleaning. This is an all-in-one solution with JGB Smart Property. So I believe everybody of you have heard about Shopline or Jouyao app, right? The difference with Shopline compared with Taobao, Taobao is a marketplace. Shopline is like a layer front page and all the our CRM, something like this. So what we do is PMS for the property owners, property management firms, real estate agency. It's an all-in-one solution, not just a marketplace. Okay, so why we do this? Because I will just 1 minute left. So Joanna used to work in global real estate investment company and agency company. So I used to help lots of investors to purchase a property in Tokyo, Osaka, Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam, and Bangkok in Thai, and London in UK. So with Joanna, I have a lot of problem with once I help them to purchase, invest a property, there's a lot of problems come to me. I need to help them to solve all the problem, repair, issue, communicate with tenant. This is the most pain point of all the property managers or owners. So that's why we create this system. I have more than 10 years experience in real estate investment, and my partner with more than 10 years in global e-commerce system, and property management system. Okay, so we reward as a top one award for smart city solution last year from Taiwan Elevator Pitch Contest last year in Taipei 101, and we also selected by the top 30 startup by AWS last year. So we are very happy with that. We have already assisted more than 50 real estate agency and a property management firm transfer digitalization with our SaaS platform with IoT devices solution, help them to increase their management capacity. Yeah, just come to us. Thank you.
Great. Go ahead. Who has the more than 100 units? Start first.
This microphone goes to...
Don't worry. Less than 100 units, we still provide the service, okay?
It will be.
Hi. Yeah, I think it was a great presentation. I guess the one thing is, don't know what you're looking for.
Okay. You mean today, or okay, today?
With this presentation.
Okay, with this. Good idea. Good question. Yeah, because I have to say, because today we launched our beta version first of January of this year, and we have a first paying client this June. And this moment we running our business, and we also conclude our end round this April. So at the moment, at this stage, we are running our business rapidly to meet the clients, to help them to have an engagement with their IoT devices, all the seminars, something like that. So today I'm here. I'm happy to meet all the investor business to maybe give more idea what's our next step for us. Okay, when we're going globally. Okay, I also forgot to mention our business is not just running for Taiwan market. At the moment, we also have a Vietnam clients. They're running our system in Ho Chi Minh City. At the moment, last week, we also talked with one of the biggest real estate developer in Bangkok, in Thai. They talk with us, they come to us, they see our solution, and they come to us and want to have a collaboration with us to enhance their service for their developed project. We are talking with developer in Thai and Cambodia. And we also have a paying clients for running real estate agency in Philippines. So today, so the answer today is why I want to meet more more potential clients, and to know everybody understand who we are, while we provide a service, and maybe have a more advice for our further step for the next phase. Thank you.
Are you guys raising money?
I would say raising money is always all on the way. Of course, we just talked to our angel round this April. Of course, we keep, at the moment we are running our business, and to get more clients engaged, then I can show you more figures and our growth. Then I probably will prepare another round maybe next year.
Actually, your answer to this question just now, I would actually put that in your presentation.
Okay.
The reason is this. I don't know the Taiwan market as well, and I don't even pay attention to real estate vertical, but I've seen probably 4 or 5 companies abroad that make software and hardware platforms specifically for real estate management. So instinctively, I'm like, okay, do you really not have any competitors in Taiwan? And investors, investors I know typically have a hard time with that. Okay, nobody's doing all of those things. So somebody said last round, like, lead with your strongest numbers. I would actually take that and put it early in your presentation so that you already established, the biggest real estate developer, you said, in Thailand, is already talking to us, and they came to us. It's because we offered this thing that they haven't been able to find. And that might make the presentation even stronger. To establish that differentiation from the start.
Thank you, Andrew. Much appreciated. I definitely, once I finish the code with the developer, I definitely put it into a slide. Next time.
Right, this is a great example. It even applies to our audience, because that's why we are hosting the Mentor Madness. It's not just for Joanna, it's for all of us to listen to our mentors, why they ask these questions, and what kind of feedback they provide. And think about your presentation, your pitch right now. Do you leave your strongest number for your presentation? So please pay attention and also write notes for our teams, and then vote for the team your favorite today. Then you will win the chance to eat with our mentors. Great, next one. Chris.
Sorry, I had stepped out at the beginning, so I apologize. I missed the first part. Can you talk a little bit about how do you generate revenue out of this system?
Okay. Regarding the revenue, we charge there's two kinds of revenue we gain. Okay, first of all is the PMS, is a system. Annual fee is a subscription annual fee, and our charge is based on like 100 Taiwan dollar, I would say $3 US per month per unit. We calculate. So which is much really reasonable and quite cheap for most of the real estate agent firm. So this is how we calculate and how we charge by our revenue from our clients. That's why we our business model is kind of a B2B2C. So we want to scale our once they grow their business, they manage more units, then we gain more. And with this service charge, we can easily to expand our business, not just Taiwan, but in Southeast Asia, Ho Chi Minh, Manila, Cambodia, and Thai. Okay, this is the first part. First about category, our revenue. Second category is that, I would say that, because our system, we support manager side, but also the tenant side, which means like Airbnb, everybody must understand, Airbnb, you can switch your role as a tenant or as a manager. So we provide our property manager firm manage their units with a specific account for each layer tenant. So which means it enables us, we have e-commerce. We could do a transaction of e-commerce which related with a rental property, such as shipping and house cleaning and the repair. So they have a transaction. Repair order, and we provide an order to the repair vendors as vendors. So we charge this kind of transaction. I would say e-commerce transaction. We charge a percentage of commission by our system.
So if you provide a service through your system, you get a little portion of that service, in addition to the subscriptions.
Yes, subscription.
And then how are you guys penetrating the Airbnb market? Because that's probably arguably the largest property management market.
Okay, you mean comparison? You mean
Well,
differences?
it sounded like you had a customer that's a fairly large real estate firm. How do you go, or and maybe you said this if I missed it, I'm sorry, but how do you go get the more transactional customers? Like if I have Airbnb and I have 2 or 3 units, maybe scattered around the world or in one location, can I take advantage of your service? And do you serve that market?
Yeah, good question. I like this question. Okay, so actually this is a real case of our clients. First of all, that during the pandemic of COVID-19, most of the owners, they couldn't do the short-term lease. I mean, today, they couldn't do it because lack of a foreigner and lack of a tourist. So I have a client, they switch their Airbnb units to long-term residential leasing. So this is how we do the business, compare with Airbnb. However, secondly, Airbnb still have a problem with legalization, with legal, and I would say illegal compliance. For example, Airbnb they run the business in Taiwan. However, there is no office of them in Taiwan. They have the office in Singapore. However, their business is forbidden in Singapore. We are doing the legalization legally business, and because we do I would say we have like e-lease contract and an e-signature. It's all with legal compliance with the local government. That's why. That's because we are more familiar with the real estate market, investment market, management market in each city, each region. I mean, especially for Southeast Asia. This is the second answer. Third answer that even if the Airbnb owner, they could still use JGB system with our vendors. I would say I didn't have a slide, but I would say just show me. Sorry, give me a moment. We have another e-commerce vendor part because all the vendors we provide a system to help even they use Airbnb, they're doing a short-term lease business, they can still have a repair. They still need a repair and house cleaning, right. So we still could do the compliance.
Okay, so it sounds like the system will work. I guess my question is that is a market that you can go put your arms around. Like Andrew said, if you're the only player in Taiwan, even though Taiwan doesn't technically support Airbnb, it's all over the place. Like, how do you get the thousands of people that are taking care of their property to get into your system?
Okay.
Because that's I think there's a lot of value out there.
Okay. You mean how can we have them engage with us, right?
Yeah, because a big property or real estate company probably already has those connections.
I fully understand.
The individual does.
Okay, fully understand your point. Okay, so what I mentioned that we focus on a small and medium size property management firms, real estate agent firm, small and medium size. Because I fully understand the biggest player, I would say, for example, in Taiwan, the biggest player for the property management, like Zhao Ji, Chui Mama, Yongsheng, they have their own system already. They should have a capability to do something similar with JGB, even they didn't do it right now. But however, they have a capability. I would say they have their own IT team. They're supposedly to do this. But however, we focus on the small and medium size business player because they don't have their IT guy internally. This is the first thing. And secondly, we know this kind of agency, property management firm, is a majority of in Taiwan, as well as in Philippines, in Ho Chi Minh City, in Thai. This is a feature, and I would say pattern in Southeast Asia. So that's why we focus small and medium size property management firm, and we run a SaaS platform. Of course, for a big player, we need to do the customization.
I guess I understand what you're saying about who your current. I understand what you're saying about the current customers that you serve. I guess, and if you aren't ready to go there, that's fine. The essence of my question is do you see the Airbnb base of people that have property, A, using your system, and B, how do you get them to join and get it?
Okay.
Like, do you offer it as a download?
or do you make some sort of arrangement with Airbnb in the local region? Because your service is desperately needed by those people, but I'm not sure they know how to get it.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so sorry, I didn't really get your question before, but I think I try my best to answer this question. Actually, it's easy for us to contact with Airbnb owner. I mean, Airbnb manager. They are not owner exactly, but a manager. So for us, our sales team, they will go through to check the page, then contact with them, pick up the phone, just contact with them. And according to our sales team experience, it's really easy to get Airbnb manager switch to JGB because most of them are young people. And they're very familiar with digitalization, familiar with the platform, familiar with the remote smart lock. It's really easy for us at this moment under COVID-19 to have that switch. I would not say switch, but running both systems. Some for short-term lease, but some for long-term lease. Thank you, Chris.
Janet, I'm just curious about when we go pitch clients, what's the most frequent asked question from the potential clients, and also what are the difficulties or challenges from those potential leads when we try to onboard them?
Okay, so first question they most care. They care mostly is online payment and financial analysis. I would say it's easy to understand because when you manage more than 100 units, or I would say 500 units, it's really busy for their team to calculate and to check the payment from end of each month. So when we do the automation for this part, they can understand which payment for which unit, which tenants. It's really help them to solve the problem. This is the most pain point for them. So what I say, we are seeing a little bit business model is a little bit like iChef. iChef is a kind of post system for small restaurant. We are kind of a post system for property management company and a real estate agency. Yeah, similar. But however, once you wanted to do perfectly and to solve their payment issue, for example, iChef, they need to solve the problem when they do the order, right? When you do the order in manual, and when the order has to be precisely when the server and the address, and also the chef at the back end. So something similar like once we need to solve the payment issue, we need to do the property vacancy, property management, and we need to do the contract. Then we enable all the phase and all the payment automatically running. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Flora.
Hello, Joanna. This is Lucia. Just some question because you mentioned there are some large property management agency. They are already doing their same software, right? So I'm just wondering the reason you see they don't do the same as you are doing now. What's the reason? And is there any entry barrier of your solution? I mean, is there any IP specifically for all these functions? And also, to scale up, okay, what kind of partners you think you need to work with in order to really go, no matter grow or really to be more profitable? Okay, talk about that.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I think there's 3 questions. First of all, is why they already have their own team, but why they didn't come to the stage what JGB doing right now? I would say that there's one very easy to understand part. For example, if you take a look about Y91, the biggest property searching engine marketplace in Taiwan, just try to browse it. There's no English version. There's even a listed company in Taiwan more than 10 years. There's no English version at the moment. They have the capability to do this. They have the capability. This is the angle. Because JGB, I'm doing a global real estate investment from the beginning, for more than 10 years. I need to solve a problem for myself, for my partner, for all the vendors in Southeast Asia. We do it's not difficult to do the bilingual. It's not really difficult to do the bilingual. But most of the players in Taiwan, they didn't do it. Even we have a very strong IT solution. We have very strong, beautiful engineer. I don't know, I don't understand. But we from the domain knowledge, we from the domain, so we want to try to solve this problem. That's why only with our system, they could run it at the beginning today in Thai, in Cambodia, in Philippines. But none of any existing player in Taiwan can run this their system in Thai, in Cambodia, in Philippines right now and today. Okay, so listen. Yeah. Okay, so this is the first question. And second question is about. Sorry, could you remind me a little bit?
Yeah, I'm asking what's your entry barrier?
Okay. I think entry barrier. Secondly, actually, there's some. We try to solve the problem, so we have a. I would say it's not. Sorry, forgive me. I don't know how to explain the entry barrier. Okay, so the entry barrier is not just our system, but also our local connection with this industry. We know each developer in each city, Cambodia. We know Thai who are the biggest developer, but all other players they don't know. They even don't know how to contact with them. And because I used to work with them, they are my partner, our team's partner. And let's find the entry barrier for SaaS platform. I would say that SaaS when you ask about the question with the IP, because we are not I would say hardware device. It's a software solution. So I would say it's not really IP problem, but also how you can grow your business rapidly than the other player. This is a SaaS platform. They run the business. And so I would say that our entry barrier, not just our system, but also all the local connection with the real estate industry, not just developer, I mean from beginning, but also the end of this industry for each management firms. Sorry, I know there's a third question.
Yeah. What kind of partners do you think you are looking for in order to scale up, no matter abroad or in global countries?
Thank you for this question. With our solution here, with our solution we need why we focus on our partner because JGB system we combine with IoT and fintech in e-commerce. So the biggest partner and why we appreciate the partner is IoT device, IoT player. Yeah. And we need a multiple IoT player with a different solution for different, some kind of a co-working space they need kind of this small lock, but not suitable for the residential units. So we need multiple player and partners for IoT devices. And secondly, we also need a fintech partner. Why we say fintech partner? Even like a finance group, banker. They are more understand the bank solution regulation than JGB system, than JGB team. Is what we appreciate. And even I would say that some of our biggest banker in Taiwan, they also run their business in Southeast Asia, in Vietnam, in Cambodia. This partner is what we appreciate because we could fight together and connect each service together. Yeah. Thank you.
2 more minutes. We can do the comments, summary, feedback.
I think everyone's feeling the toll of mentor madness, which is 3 consecutive meetings. We want the mentors to feel that as well, so thank you for making them exhausted.
I like the fact that your dress matches the color.
I intended.
Now Joanna only buy red dresses.
Yeah, Rosa said this is the perfect attire for pitching in China.
Yeah, you got it.
Am I working well?
When I were China, I would probably pick a blue or green, because the rest of them pick red.
Thanks, Joanna. I think I just want to comment, just echo Alan's previous comment. Not about the trust. It's about I think Alan opened the Q&A with so what do you want out of this presentation, right? So we spoke previously, so we know that you're not fundraising right now, but I think in my personal opinion, I think the best time to raise money is when you don't need money. When you really need money, that's when investors are usually a little more concerned, right? So in an environment like this, is you can both make your sales pitch and an investor's pitch by making an investor's pitch. So today, I think it really looked a lot more like a sales pitch, trying to. This is probably the exact same pitch that you go to property developers or property badgers, but maybe just throw in a little more around what a investor's pitch would look like. You might not have a fundraising amount you're looking for or a use of funds, but you could highlight more about revenue models. So just kind of pique everyone's interest and to maintain relationships that going forward when you do actually want that money, or even though you don't want, people want to come with you and throw money at you, that would be the best type of fundraising that you ever do.
Thank you, Yan. Thank you. I probably will do it and follow Andrew's comments. I need to more organize this page for the investor portion, and I will conduct this. I will commit everybody. I will conduct this by November because I could have provide you more figures and more concrete figures and exactly sales and the revenue. So this is what I expected to do. Thank you.
Yeah, let me just add on to that though. Like, you don't necessarily need those numbers yet. Like when we were fundraising, we followed a 3 cups of tea framework where you have your first cup of tea being just very personal with the investor, and they let them know that what you're doing. And then the second cup of tea, you'll do 50% personal, 50% professional, and then your last cup of tea is going to be, you're going to close the deal. So you know how long your run rate is going to last. So measure that and be sure to have those investors ready on dial when you're ready to close the deal.
Thank you. I think I really appreciate Rosa arranged this event because every one of you provide the comments, no matter it's what my intention. I hope everybody could understand our business. This is the purpose of mine today. Because I know it's not easy because everybody are in a different background, different industry. So my intention that I hopefully everybody, most of you here could understand our business, what we are doing. This is once you got it, I think I already achieved my goal today.
Good news from the audience. This is about the message. Someone from the audience, they are investors. They are asking for where can we join the next one.
Yeah, I like this intention. Okay, I will say next time.
I just want to remind the startups and founders in the audience that all of this valuable information that was provided today works for you guys as well. So all of, like what Yan said, you should be looking for investment when you're not strapped for money, right? You need to engage with investors regularly. You need to be proactive. So when you need them to invest, you already have a relationship with all these VCs and investors that you have relations with. And it always comes up in any form. So I think this is very valuable for everyone. I know it's very intense. It's like after this pitch, there's another pitch. So just a breather, but we're going to introduce the next one. So thank you for your...
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. And we will invite our mentors to write yes or no for our next meeting.
So, moving on forward, because it's just a madness. Next up is Will Study, and we'll have Daniel to talk about Will Study. Will Study is a edtech platform. It's a media website. An interesting fact is they have 30,000 active monthly users from Europe and Asia. And they're one of the most popular overseas content media in Taiwan. So, Daniel, take it away.
Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Daniel and I'm from Will Study. Will Study is a platform that dedicated to help study abroad students. And these are our team members, and all of us have study abroad experience and also working experience in global companies. So we understand the needs and pain points for study abroad students. And in study abroad ecosystem, we can separate into 3 parts: inspiration, preparation, and arrival. Imagine when we are using a Google Map to plan a trip. The first thing we want to do is to type in some places and search on Google Map, and we can see where we can go or what we can do. in the place. And after we decide our destination, and we want to find out how can I get the tickets or how can I take the transportation to the place. And Google Map can provide a link to the booking site or suggestion route for us need. And after arrival, we can just open the Google GPS and it will lead us to the destination. And we can also find some restaurants or hotel around the place. It's similar idea in studying abroad, but regretfully, we cannot just type in the school's name and find all the information in one platform. So that's why WellStudy came in, and we want to become Google Map in study abroad ecosystem. We do the mapping job, and we map all the needs and service provider in the whole ecosystem. Recently in Taiwan, we can get plenty resource or a system from agencies in preparation stage. But as we can see that in the other two stages, there are lack of resources or information. And so as a platform, this make the ecosystem will be imbalanced and cannot provide good user experience. So WellStudy as a platform, we want to dedicate it to map all the resources to the lacking parts and try to build an expanding and enriching ecosystem. So what makes WellStudy different, and how did WellStudy enter the market and build up our brand image? Firstly, we provide interactive contents. Imagine when we are trying to see what we are going to eat for dinner, and we search on Google Map, and we found many restaurants, and we want to see the price, the menu, and also the reviews on Google Map. Similar idea, if appliers can get all the information they want from other students. For example, their study experience from in the program or their career path, and they can also schedule for one-on-one online consulting on our platform. That's why WellStudy is so unique. By providing these unique services, we acquire precise and fast-growing users so that we can move on to the next step. We cooperate with many schools. For example, we cooperate with UC Berkeley and hold offline coffee chat. So our users can just build up connection with the programs and schools in early stage. On the other hand, we also partners with service providers, for example, applying for insurance or opening a banking account. We eliminate the barriers and also improve the user experience when applying due to the different cultures or different languages. As we achieve those three things, and we build up really good reputation in study abroad markets, so our user base has been growing fast. And we are also invited by many national universities. As we can see in this chart, our MVP products quickly get success in the market, even though there is a drop on the demand of studying abroad due to the COVID-19. And this is our partnership so far. Because many companies have been affected by the COVID-19, and they saw our success in the past of our partnership in the past, so this increased their willingness to partnership with us. So our partnerships expands from originally only finance service to transportation, travel, and housing, and so on. And even some of them even become a unicorn, like N26. Okay. So WellStudy is dedicated to map all the resources and all the needs and all the resources in the whole ecosystem. And we now have success in Taiwan markets, and we hope to bring this success to Southeast Asia and even the whole world. Thank you.
You mentioned that there are some consultants in your platform. And how do you avoid the users in your platform to contact the consultant directly?
Sorry, can you speak? I cannot hear you. For this part, we think the most important is to help Taiwanese students, or not restricted to Taiwanese students, but other countries study abroad students. We hope them to build up. We hope to build up the whole ecosystem that map all the needs and all the service together. So we are not worried about if they can direct consult with our consultants, even though because the consulting service is not our core monetized strategy.
One question. Were you nervous when you were speaking?
Yes, a little bit in this.
No, that's good. That's good because you want to remember this moment.
Yes.
Because as you practice more, you're going to be completely different. I've seen so many people that practice. They step on stage. I can actually tell a little bit that you're nervous, but you still finish the presentation, and that is really important. But practice like hell, because a lot of Taiwanese founders that I meet, they're actually doing really good work, and they're seeing great initial results, but they don't necessarily have that confidence within themselves. 不是常有人说那个国外的做了5分，然后讲了10分吗？哎，我觉得你就有点已经做了超过5分了，但是你的 your tone, the vibe that you're giving off, is still not as confident as you should be. And the way to fix that, and I know because I'm like the most nervous speaker in history. Seriously, I like sweat like how I want to run off stage, and I have people laughing at me in the audience. But before every pitch, you practice 100 times, and you practice and you try disrupting yourself. You have other people disrupt you. 然后你把你的简报的顺序把它换一下，打乱自己的脚步 and see if you can recover. Okay. And then you will find that you're smoother and smoother and smoother and smoother. Okay, especially the key slide. Because to me, the most important slide in your presentation was why we are unique. Yes. But that one, when you were presenting it, because the slide stayed on screen for quite a while, and you have 4 things that you want to walk through. But sometimes what you were saying didn't necessarily match what was on the slide. Okay. So you want to effectively, from point to point, direct people to the right place. For example, like I think the second point you were talking about precise targeting plus partnerships. Yes. To me, those might be 2 different things. So I want to make each of those points independent and powerful so that they carry their own punch instead of mixing them. Okay. Understood. Okay. And also, you have another advantage, which is you had a really strong introduction. Before you even stepped on stage, people are like, you guys are super popular. 那个有套过吗? Okay, 没有套过. All right. So you didn't know he was going to say that.
I was trying to help them.
Exactly. So you didn't know, but you can actually do this. Hey, David. 你在介绍我们的时候可以加个那个 key number. You can introduce us the rest of it the way you want, but I want to be introduced this way. And if they didn't do it, you should do that.
Okay.
Same advice as to the last team. Here's our strongest number, and let me tell you why everybody loves us. But let me show you why, and here's why we're unique. Okay.
Okay. Really thanks for your advice. Thank you.
Wait, do you want to practice now? Go ahead. And remember this moment. Remember today. Take our mentor minus. Make you shine in the future.
We are waiting for you to practice.
So I love the concept and the idea. You mentioned that you don't specifically monetize things off of your partners, right? In other words, the contractors that people talk to through your service, those people don't pay you directly. Is that true? How do you generate revenue on this?
Actually, there are two ways to generate revenues for on our platform. The first is advertising fee, and we partnership with many companies and their service providers, and we put their contents or testimonials on our platform. This is the first thing. And the second thing will be the commission from those companies. So students can get exclusive discount or our service to applying their from service provider, and we can get maybe 10% from the commission.
So it's a click-through type model for that.
Yes, basically.
Okay. And then how do you see this? Are you going to grow through advertising? Are you going to grow through commission? Like, what's your intent over time? Does it just get bigger either way, or do you have a specific goal in mind?
Yes. So far, we will relatively grow both way, but our main goal is to build up the ecosystem. So monetize will be the secondary part. So map all the resources together and provide the whole process. The students can get all the resources in one platform.
But it's not directly to monetize that. So if you go pitch that to an investor, like me hearing that, if I wanted to invest, I would feel a little scared about that style. I think it's noble, right? Helping lots of people and all that, absolutely. But you're a for-profit business. I would want to make sure that you had I would think about how you articulate or say, here's where we are today, and here's where we want to go.
Yes.
And along the way, this is how we intend to make money.
Okay, so our first will be the commission will be our focus, because we collaborate with like banking companies and insurance company, and this generates much of our revenue from them, from the commission so far. Our revenue are mostly generated by the commission so far. So yeah, this will be our focus so far.
And then because before when you got asked the question around if people see the service but they don't click through to your platform,
yes,
right? You don't really care about that. It sounds like you do care about that. That is important. And it's important that they stay within your system, because that's your primary method of generating revenue.
We have to say that because our partnership some of our partnership is exclusively, so students cannot get. Yes.
They can't go outside the system to get it.
Yes, so they cannot get the service.
Okay, that makes more sense. So it's really about you guys building a group of exclusive partnerships.
Yes.
So that people stay within your ecosystem to go get those services.
Yes.
I got feedback that I think most of the time we can actually demo of the platform or to show what's the before and after. Like before, there are tons of very easy work that you have to do the research and complete all the process. And what's the benefit of this platform is to help you probably to save you like 70% of the time or help you to do what's the value proposition we're providing, right? So once we have the demo or we have the before and after, the comparison, probably that will be more persuasive to a lot of the audience or investors to let them get the idea of what's the benefit of this platform.
I really thank you for the advice.
Yeah, there's actually jumping off of what I think Flora, is it? Jumping off of what Flora just said, I agree. And I would put it in a specific place in your presentation, which is you actually took a long time to show us, which is good. It's, I believe it was inspiration, preparation, and arrival.
Yes.
Right? And I like that. But it actually took up, I think, a minute of your presentation, and you were using that to illustrate a metaphor.
Yes.
Which is, we are the Google Maps of study abroad, right?
Yeah.
But you can actually just tell us, because most of us know what Google Maps is.
Okay.
So you can, right, you showed us that 3-part slide, and initially I was like, are you showing us a before and after? And I was looking for that, and I was like, oh no, you were using it to illustrate a metaphor, which is do the Google Maps. You could have done that in one sentence. We want to be the Google Maps of studying abroad. Let me show you why. Here's the before, here's the after. Same amount of time, but much more impact.
Okay, really thank you for your advice.
Hi, this is Mark.
We saw obviously the big drop off with COVID. Did you learn anything from that? It looks like your user count is steadily going up, even though the monthly visitors are going down, which is understandable. But did you learn anything from that impact? Did it give you some thoughts on potential pivots? A lot of times, when I speak to startups, I really want to learn, not so much how they've done, but are they good learners? So this seems like to be a perfect opportunity for you to learn from the impact that COVID had on your platform. So can you give us some insight on any learnings from this?
Yes, there are 2 things we have learned from COVID. The first thing is that we have found that students will be worried about if, so far, if like I am this year's appliers, I will want to know if maybe I'm applying for United States, the university in United States, and I want to know if COVID there is serious or I'm safe to go there. So at this time, our online consulting platform stands out because students can directly just consult with the students in that place, and they can understand their life and what's their study going on and during this period. And the second thing is that, as I mentioned previously, because many companies are affected by the COVID, and they have saw our previous success on partnerships, so they are more willing to just cooperate with us and try to build, because we can provide precise and fast-growing user base, so they are more willing to cooperate with us. So this, I think it will be an advantage period for us to expand our partnerships.
So to kind of follow up on Mark's line of questioning around COVID, right? If you looked at that chart where you showed the trend line going down, and you said your partnerships have grown because those businesses have seen the same
problem and they're looking for other ways to get to the market. Do you think, or have you guys thought about if people stop studying abroad, literally going abroad, they say they're going to do some kind of online program at Stanford or something like that, how does your platform, or can it take advantage of that situation? Versus, it sounds like it's built on people want to go somewhere that they haven't been, and they want contacts there because they're going to live in a place they haven't lived before. What about in a world where people don't do that as often, but they still study abroad? They still do it, but they do it online. Is there anything in the model that sort of lends itself to building revenue and all that good stuff in that case?
I would say in Taiwan, the people will less likely to just join the online courses because one of the main goals to study abroad is to work in that place. Like for example, if I go study in US, I want to work in US. But if online they are doing online courses, they will lose their advantage to apply for the visa to stay in the country. So I think this kind of issue will be less likely to happen in Taiwan.
I guess. I mean, that could happen, but in the world, because the world's changing around us, right? Like business travel is declining, incredible levels. I guess what I would encourage you to think about is your business model is based on certain assumptions. Yes. To Mark's earlier point, those assumptions are changing around us. Is looking for how does your business, how is it nimble, does it pivot in a world where people traveling abroad to study maybe doesn't happen as often.
Yes.
But they still want to study abroad. Is that a customer you can serve or not? And are you guys thinking about that? Because if those trend lines continue for years and years, potentially,
yes,
right, your business is kind of, it's capped at a certain level. And as an investor, that's not really a growth opportunity. You need to have a message for if the world changes to that new paradigm or that new condition. Here's how we're going to tackle that. Here's how we're going to still make our business relevant. Does that make sense?
Yes. We will get prepared for it.
Yeah, you may not know the answer now, that's
Yeah.
fine. But just think through that and think about being able to answer those questions. Because it may be something else that may not be covered, it may be some other.
Yes.
So, great. We will let the mentors have their grand food, then we will go to our next team. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce our last team. And to remind you, DP Smart provides panoramic solution to create a made in Taiwan brand with a spirit of dedication and passion. So, dedication and passion, in short, DP Smart. Now I'm going to tell you for the whole afternoon session, look at that camera. It's the panoramic, and which means we are all alive in the afternoon. When I say panoramic, it means 360. So you can go back, watch online, and find yourself through that live streaming. Am I telling you this too late? So for the entire afternoon, if you are watching, you are playing around with your cell phone, it's all recorded and seriously, and it's all through that camera. So let's welcome DP Smart, the Rocky 360 6-lens panoramic live streaming camera.
Well, it's my honor to be back again. This is my lucky place. I won the fourth Economy Daily News, the Star of Startup, just 3 months ago. So it's a lucky place. And also, I'm thrilled to be here. Actually, I met Rosa just 2 weeks ago. I was called on stage. When I met her in Taiwan, there's another event. When she heard about my story, the startup story, actually not this startup, but the previous startup, she liked it. So she said, well, Kevin, you probably need to come here today to show all your talent, what you are doing, and what the story behind, because this is probably the longest pitch I had in the past 12 months, because this has 30 minutes, communication. So maybe there's more questions you can ask later on. Okay. All right. Let me go back very quick to my 6-minute presentations. 你的视野由你掌握。We are doing 360 cameras. We want you to control your vision through your angles. So this is what we're doing, and we are proud of announcing the strategic partnership with ASpeed Technology, who is the platform provider in Taiwan for 3 years exclusivity of this product worldwide. And we're selling this right now, and after 18 months. So this product actually is already on market. Amazing photos. Take an amazing photo right in 1 picture, 1 second. Recording the exciting moments, sporting effects. Any exciting moment you want to grab the 360 scene. Also a wedding party, like a touch of memory. What if we can allow you to bring all this home easily? Will you like it or not? Okay, so this is a whole story about a product. And again, this is made in Taiwan. This will be the first design, manufacturing, and will be also the first brand of Taiwan to go global. The new way of sharing, I know people, I'm not sure how many people of you are using this 360, okay, but the new way of sharing is coming. Facebook, YouTube, all you can name the main things. The 5G is coming also, they need streaming contents in order for carrier company to make more money out of you. Okay, so content is important. VR is also needed important. So we want this device, your content, to stream to the VR device, not the expert stream to put the device, the content into the VR headset. Otherwise, the VR is going to be a very small market. But with our camera, we can help each other. VR headset, AR glass, and even the HoloLens. And the problem of today, the 360 are stitching is too difficult after post-processing. And also streaming, you need to connect the camera to the phone, to the computer. And also expensive on the 6 camera lens. But our product, Rocky, solve all of this for you. The in-camera stitchings give you a 1 second content for photo and video without our stitchings. And also direct one-click streaming to Facebook or YouTube without connecting to other smart device. This is one-click live streaming. Okay, so and also it's not very expensive. And later on maybe we can talk about price. So photo, video, live streaming, funny photo, okay, sports cam, live streaming. Also, we can allow you to live stream multiple camera in one account. This is also very important case. Multiple camera in one account. So for the futures, a lot of events, you have multiple locations, multiple views. You can have a multiple Rocky streaming to your own account, one account. So we can also allow the camera to do a 360 video conference. So not just the other 3, but also conferencing, security, you name it. And these competitions we are. So they are expensive on the downside. They are all made in China brand. And also Ricoh from Japan. They are easily used, but they are not as expensive as a professional, but they are very difficult to use. But Rocky sit a very perfect spot. It is most easy to use a 360 camera right now on the planet, and also the cheapest 6 camera in the market right now. We are 1/5 of the professional products. Scenario of the applications, you name it, space display. Like there are customers, the partners present today, actually that could be our potential customers. Maybe like a team A, they can stream in the kids play, so the parents can look at all the teams, all the kids play without playing too much long time, So the entertainment-wise, you can have live sport, concert, parties, weddings. Okay, education-wise, online, all this, you can do it, okay? And we are shipping right now, so we already have three crowdfunding platform. We raise money. Okay, we have, and also we have other orders. Almost every day we have a customer calling, "Where can I buy this?" So actually we're getting our revenues up right now, and we're only 18 months old company. So this is our roadmap: Rocky, Rita, Tia, 3. Like the so we have planned another 2 models coming out each year, and this is our sales revenue. Okay, maybe you think this is too optimistic, but I think this could be also a very conservative figures because we're talking about global market, not just Taiwan. And this is Tim. I'm a second startup entrepreneur. So I have a previous startup for 16 years, and we started this year, this company just last January. So it's still a very small team. All right. Okay. So this finished my pitch. All right.
This is the second start. So what about the first one?
Well, the first one started from 2002. Actually, I'm probably the oldest guys on the started teams. Okay, I started my first startup since 2002. Okay, and ended 2017. So it's last 16 years. We've been doing a lot of ODM business before for all the camera products we've been making in the past. So as you can see here, 150 brands. Customer we've been serviced before over 30 countries, but we put their name on it with our service, total solutions. Back to 2012, there's a guys, a customer from US. They actually are the GoPro rival, the second brand up in the sport categories. But they failed to pay me $5 million US. Simple as that, okay? And I've been struggling for 5-6 years, trying to make my first startup survive. After 6 years, I decided the $5 million on my shoulder is probably a lot, which I cannot carry anymore. So I said, okay, maybe let's finish that startup and start it over. Because there's a lot of friends already told me, Kevin, you should start earlier instead of putting all your resources in and nothing left. But again, you know, we are, as a second startup, we do much differently compared to the first one. This time, our dream is even bigger. As you can see, the industry in Taiwan, as economics, computer, whatever, they are mainly on the OEM or ODM, which is make less money. You know, we've been in that route to make 10 to 15% margins, which we feel okay, comfortable. A lot of people. But I decide, well, on my second startup, I don't want to do the same things. If I have still, God give me the second chance, I would think I need to do a little bit different. I am a little bit, I'm more ambitious now to make this happen in the brand side. Even though a lot of friends, a lot of people say, Kevin, doing brand from Taiwan is difficult. You may not succeed, which is, I believe, yeah, it's difficult. Because it's difficult, that's why we do it, not because it's easy. Okay?
Kevin, you should tell that story when you start.
Right. By the way, I know Rosa told me, but I said, well, if I spend minutes, maybe I will
How did you start that?
I think you can shrink it down.
All right.
But I mean, that is a very powerful story, and it really makes me feel like this is going to be super successful.
Thank you. Yeah, this is what we are heading to, successful. Yeah, must do. Yeah. And
Chris, can you show him, like, say that in 3 seconds, in 30 seconds?
I think you just open with, you could walk on the stage and say, you know what, I failed.
Yeah.
And you can tell that story, and you say, I'm here to show you what success looks like.
Wow, this is a very powerful sentence.
I mean, this is a great story, I think. And also, I think the length of time that you pursued that dream, even though you didn't recognize it at the end, that shows persistence, that shows you were willing to give it all you had. Those are all the qualities that I would look for as an investor in somebody who's running a, it's just an amazing story.
Thank you.
Yeah,
it's
I
encouraging.
failed. I will make it work.
All right. Let me make a joke just before the next question. Right? Okay. as I said, people feel it's difficult for a Taiwan company to make global brand in consumer industries. So they said, because there are a lot of failure, like from HTC, from even Acer has been successful recently, but they are losing a lot of money before. And the BenQ is the same things.
You know, we have mentors from Acer.
See, I met her just last week. I met her just last week. Okay. So I like to tell you, okay, there's probably only two people who believe I can make a success. The first one is myself, all right, because I have to be 100% confident. I was at the nowadays at the AppWorks, 21, the Jamie, Jamie Lin, he was on the stage, he's just showing the all the startup, the orientations. He said, how many of you feel confidence level about your startup? I say 100%, because I want to be 100% success. I cannot say just 10%, 20%, even though the market is ruled. I mean, the VC only put the money only on very select customers, and only a very small percentage of people, succeed. And the second one, who believe I can make it a success is my dog, the Shiba Weiwei, because she can speak. So I say, make it happen, Robbie? Yes. All right, sorry, this is my joke.
So I was actually having a conference call with ASpeed. All right, okay. A few months ago, and they demoed something. They had that.
Yeah, this one, yes.
And then during the conference call, because they had the camera facing their entire team, and when their team member zoomed in, you just draw a box, right?
Object tracking.
Right, exactly. You just draw a box, and then they zoomed in to the person who is speaking. And there were other corporate people in the room, and they were like, I want to buy that. Okay. And then ASpeed was like, no, you can't buy it. 还没有上市。
But now it's ready.
And then the corporate executives that we knew asked 3 more times, once per month.
Okay.
So that actually tells me something. It's just an idea, is that you could show a video demo of that, because that is a big need right now.
That big need, yes.
And that caught people's eye. So you could probably insert a video of that.
All right.
Into your
that'd be great. The market we are target. There are 2 markets we're talking to. One is corporate users. For the corporate users, they like the variety. The most are 2 things. The first thing is live streaming, like an event like this. The presentation they have to showcase their new product to the world. YouTube live streaming with the VR is going to help them, because, like I said, there's no wiring here. It's just connecting to your network, or even the 5G network in the future. So they like this, the first thing. The second thing they like is the video conferencing. Our camera can allow you to connect to the computer. Any platform in the planet, the Zoom, Skype, Teams, you can run 360. Everybody was in the room, they're all inside. So there's a corporate side of it like this the most. And the end user, they like our camera the most is simplicity. Because for a family camera, if this is we treat as a family camera, just replace the old day, the camcorder. Almost every family here, probably your father is holding the camera for you, film it, but he is not in the movie, not in the scene. But with our 360, no one is left behind. Everyone is inside. So that's for a family activities. It's good. So traveling, all the kids growing, from the first day to the many years, they like it.
Can I have a question? Wow, go ahead.
Oh, from the audience.
I'm just wondering, is it possible for you to demonstrate how it looks like, the 360? Okay.
Yeah, you need to see it. Yeah, I know. Otherwise, how powerful it is. Okay.
Right. Remember, we met. You sit down with me, and then you just show me directly.
I know. Right.
What happened? You didn't show us today.
Yeah. Wow. Thanks, Indra, bring this question up. All right. So right now I'm showing this camera. So here, there's a 360.
Wow.
So there's no blind spot from ceiling to the floor. There's no blind spot. What I say in camera stitching, no cross processing is For a click, 1 second, you have your content for you. Let me take photo first and wait 10 later because I'm going to take photo first. Okay. So this is a photo. All right. So 1 second, you have the 360 pictures with it. So you can share instantly. Maybe this is too dark, but I just see this the fast.
We can see the meters clearly.
Yeah. So here, so everyone's here. So you can demonstrate different mode,
For
different
IG.
mode. IG, for IG, the tiny planet, we see everyone's here. So you can see this is like a video conferences. Everyone is like this, all right? So this is a photo mode, and the second one is a video mode. So it doesn't matter how long you record, 1 hour. Like I said, post-processing, you need 5 hours post-processing. Bring the car to the computer. But at real time, in-camera stitchings, just add 1 more second. So if I start recording 1 hour, stop recording, stitching video is ready for you. So I'm going to just demo 10 to 20 seconds so you see. So stop recording. So there's a stitching video ready for you here. So this is the video. You guys forgot to wait. But anyway, let me still. So if I start recording one, but you can still see me. So this is a video. All right. So I'm going to just demo it. So which means every time you go to the tourist place, you can take photo, video, and share instantly with your friends and family, without going back to hotel to load up to your computer, or back home after 5 days trip to Hokkaido or to Bali Island. So it's instant sharing. It's key. The content, make the content quick and instant sharing is key. Another good one is live streaming. Okay. So the third one is live streaming. So after you set up your account, you just press one button, and I choose the Facebook, YouTube, or RTMP. RTMP is for any platform. So this camera can stream into any platform, just through the RTMP, okay, or RTSP. So you just put the URL or okay. So I just click to make it a private because we already have a public streaming. So okay. So in few seconds, we are streaming this camera to YouTube. So it's a streaming now. The competitor cameras, they cannot do like this because their camera is connected to the phone. Once they're connected to the phone, there's no interruption allowed. If there's somebody call your phone, your streaming is there. Or you close the apps, just like how we close the apps, your streaming is there. But because the camera is a standalone device, it just connects to the network. So there's no interruptions. Okay, so you can see here. So actually we're streaming live here. Simple as that. And I don't need to go to the apps. Okay, your stream is there.
Everyone get onto the YouTube channel.
Yeah. But it's a private now, but it's a show video example. And I don't need to use the apps. I can actually just press my camera and stop streaming. This camera will stop streaming because I pressed the shutter button. If I want to do streaming again, no need to phone, tablet. I can just press again. It will stream to your same account. Simple as that. So this camera, I would say probably the simplest 360 camera now compared to Insta360, compared to Ricoh in Japan, or compared to other professional models. I will believe this will be successful.
One-on-one, Andrew.
Your mentor is a call.
For the mentor today, or the audience today, well, there will be 20% off. So we are setting a camera set like this. So the camera is on the top, and this is a docking station. So together, this gives you close to 6 hours runtime. So for your one-day event, you don't need to find the power. If you want to have clean on the stage, otherwise people see a lot of warning. A lot of companies before they do streaming with a 4 camera, a lot of wiring. This one you don't. You just clean like this. So this is a one set, $999 only, and we give you a 20% discount.
I feel like we are watching the TV shopping.
Wow.
Okay, so
Maybe
any
one day I'll be on the
more
mall.
comments?
I decided to buy one.
Wow!
I'm not encouraged.
The next product.
Okay, the next product will be what you call a Rita. Each of the name has a meaning already. You know what is the meaning of Ragi?
No.
Okay, if you look at the Urban Dictionary, yes, there's a cool things from U.S. Urban Dictionary. But my meaning of Ragi is return to glory. 重返荣耀. So Ragi is return to glory. So this is my first product when I named it last year. And the second one, what do it is a Rita. Rita is a 4 camera lens. So not a 6 camera lens, which will be more focused on the video conference market, mainly. Okay, but still give you a streaming capabilities. Others, like video conference camera, they don't allow you to do standalone streaming. But our next cameras will allow you to do that as well. But main focus is a streaming, a video conference. That name was Rita. Rita is a lady's name. What's the meaning of that? Rise from the ashes. 东山再起. So the second product is called a Rita. And the third product, I can jump to the third product. Third product is a 2 camera lens. 2 cameras. So with a power plug, with a LAN adapters, with a pattern on it. We call it TIA.
You want to show that slide? You just show us, right?
All right, this is TIA. Okay. So the TIA is smart care monitoring or cloud surveillance. We're going to put this on there. And TIA is, this is your chain.
So the
荣耀时刻.
reason to...
So it's Ragi, it's Rita, and it's TIA. 3 stages.
So the reason to decrease the number of cameras is...
The reason is it's for different market. So like this one is meant is for live streaming. The main purpose, even though we can do a lot of other features, but the main selling point of this one is easy to live stream. Even easier than your phone. If you have set up everything just one click, you don't need to open up your phone, enter the password, okay? The Rita is for a corporate market for a video conference because we see the COVID-19, so there's a lot of people that are working at home, so not traveling a lot. So that's what we want to do the second product, okay? The third one is we were before in the cloud monitoring business, but what I want the company is every camera we do here is a 4K. So not the cheap, 720p, 1080p. Everything here is 4K. 4K, 8K, even the next Pro product will be 8K. So this is the brand, the company's position is mid-high end. So not the entry, low cost, trying to compete in pricing. So that's also something I always also share to the startup in other locations. Focus on value, not focus on price. 价值, 价格. We're looking at 价值. How to bring it
As mentors, any further comments? Because we only have 6 minutes left.
Don't tell Dell about this.
Don't tell Dell.
All right.
It's not Dell.
Well, hopefully one day one of the big brands will buy us. Oh yeah, that's a question. Maybe well, actually, raising our angel rounds fund because this company is still very small. We only have 1,600万台币的股本, but we're doing a lot. Okay, but we're asking millions of angel rounds. Okay, so if every one of you here are interested, you can participate a small number. So we invite partners. But what I would like the partner is to help us to grow globally. I know a lot of people here have a lot of connections. We are not expert in branding and marketing. Okay, my previous background, yes, we are not a brand company before, but we do need a lot of people come in and join, and let's put the Taiwan value up. Because for a supply chain shift during today's China and US country, I think that what should happen. I believe this made in Taiwan camera will be a success because a lot of people, like US, the government, you talk to the government, they don't like China, made in China. Even Taiwan, the government, they don't like made in China products.
I'm in.
Whoa! Now it's looking like a bidding competition. Go ahead, Flora.
I'm just curious. I think our core, I assume our core is not about the camera or the hardware. It's like we're
Okay, our expertise, our core competence, integration, the whole thing, make the design, ID, platform is from SK. We are not the chip makers, but how are you going to make the product quick?
But the chip is
SK is a Taiwan chip makers. They used to be number two highest.
Is that a very key element to make?
Of course, like CPU.
But we don't own it.
We don't own it. It's like Intel. The computer company, they don't own Intel CPU. Single source, okay, or AMD, but there's a CPU inside. It's from SK Taiwan, Xinhua Heji. Yeah. So and we have exclusive protections for this product for years. So that's why we want to jump up quick and make it happen.
Oh, so it's an exclusive deal for us.
At least end of next year, we have to only this 6 minutes.
Thank you.
Which give us a good protections. Otherwise, a lot of venture capitals, I've been in different stages, they keep asking, Kevin, you are so smart, how can you so confident that nobody's like big guys that will coming in? Well, I wasn't has a good solution before I got a specific rights. But now I can say loud. Okay, this work. But now, as long as we're really serious about making this big success, the ASP will be on our back to give us good support.
Thank you.
So Kevin, nice to meet you again.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So I think it's always very impressive about your demo. Yeah, no matter the day or today. So first of all, congratulations. And then second one is because we all know, you also mentioned now that the hardware business is challenging, right? So especially when you are facing so many giant competitions behind. So I think maybe you can share with us, your expectation by having not only the revenue from hardware itself, or maybe, I don't know, license business, I don't know, or maybe some other ecosystem you plan to shape.
All right.
Yeah, talk about that.
Well, we are not just focused as a camera companies or device company. Actually, we are trying to build an ecosystem out of Taiwan to be the first Taiwan company to build a 360 ecosystem, which means the software company like JGB, like other guys, they can use our cameras for the real estate. So like we are working with iStaging right now, okay, and also the video conference software like another companies in town, they can also work with us, and also AI company. AI is not value without applications, but in order to have an application, you need a streaming device that allows you to collect data, to make recognitions, people counting, whatever. So that kind of things, we want to invite all partners in Taiwan come work with us to create an ecosystem. So not just we are doing good, but I want other startup to come join us so we can achieve the goal together. So this is the team means, together we can achieve more. I would really like to bring that value up and to sell the Taiwan's value. This is what I want. And also the VR headset. We're actually talking to XR Space, Peter Chiu, Zhou Yongming. Okay, actually we can partner with them. They need our camera sold more and more. Otherwise, their VR is only the professional content, which people they don't see it every day. But if I have content, I make it for my friends and family, and you are doing all the contents every day, they love it because they value more. Okay, so the VR headset, AR glass. Jordan or Absence. Actually, we're inviting a lot of partners to come with us to bring this ecosystem stronger, which allowed us to even be ahead competitor when they are coming to have a device. We already have the ecosystem. So not just a device, but it's ecosystems we're talking about.
Any last word from our mentors? Last one. Go ahead, Mark.
Sure. So you were saying that, actually something that you said during the
You said something about halfway through, which I thought was a profound statement, and I would love to hear you lead with it. You said the new way of sharing is coming.
All right.
And I thought that was a pretty powerful statement. And at one point in your slide, you're talking about your growth strategy.
Yes.
And you're saying that you're not a marketing person and you're looking for more help with that. And one thing you mentioned was KOLs and influencers. I think this is a major opportunity for that. There are a lot of tech influencers out there, particularly YouTubers, that live and breathe this. So it would be a great distribution for you to actually get with these guys and girls to be able to have them use your product. What is your strategy for that? Do you have any campaigns, or is that something later in your roadmap? If you can.
Well, we call it sharing program. YouTuber, influencer, KOL will be our sales force. We would like to hire globally, each country's top people. Every camera sold, they have a $200 profit, for example. That kind of things we're planning right now. Instead of selling to channel, which is difficult to Best Buy, I don't think for a startup selling product to Best Buy, no way. There's a lot of inventory, a lot of logistic things. But because the product is so internal, so the social media is so powerful for those people. If they like to use our product, share with the profit, our profit, which is we want that happen, and we like happen as quick as possible. That's why we are talking to a lot of people who has a YouTuber. You can introduce to us. We are happy to talk with them to make money. They can be making money every day. So that is the way we want our revenue. So this will be a B2C company. Okay, if we great successful on those YouTuber influencer, I think just like the Zhixiao, I think a lot of people know Zhixiao. But Zhixiao, okay, direct sales is like a lot of cosmetic product they sell direct to the end users. But the guys need a whole inventory. If you want to be a distribution or you want to, but with our Rogi, there's no commitment from those YouTubers. You simply just take our product, make content, share, link to our website. I mean, on a shopping cart. Every month, we give you an incentive. If you help to sell 10 pieces, you might have a $2,000 US margin. Incentive for you. So that's a new way we want to do it.
I guess there is another new word called affiliate marketing, and could make it sound better. Well, it's around the time, and this is a great example that all the mentors, we know you are exhausted, so that's why we are preparing the brand fit for you. You can see that Kevin needs more support from the marketing, and that's why we also invite some the participants from Shanghai. They do the international marketing, and some person, he also came from Alibaba in Europe. Now he's also sitting in this area. So later we will have the networking session. I encourage you guys to talk to each other. And lastly, let's broadcast our mini challenge, 2-minute video. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. You got your order from Alex, and please say I'm in for your intro round.
So just to reiterate, this is the QR code we just had here is for all of the audience to fill out the feedback form and also vote for the ones you like, the teams that you like, to give them feedback directly as well. So we'll send all of the feedback to them personally, and then so the startup teams can get feedback from not just the mentors, but all of the founders sitting here today. And the 3 winners from that would be from the audience, not the founding team. They will have mentored lunches with us, no questions asked. But people inside of the audience, you'll get a chance to mingle with us and talk to the mentors as well. So fill out the form, vote for your favorite team, and give them much valued feedback. And after, I'll give you time to do the QR code. We're going to play another video, and this is to announce a pitching challenge that we've been working with a startup back in the States called CollabX. The founder is Steven Chen, who's a Taiwanese founder who's recently got his gold card, and he's coming back to Taiwan. And his vision is creating an education platform for empowering entrepreneurs and people who want to be entrepreneurs. So this pitch, he'll talk about it, but it's a 3-week program. There will be 1 session each week, and they will be talking about how to improve your pitch and honing that in a sense of fundraising or in the sense of BD or just convincing people about your product and what your startup is about. So let's cut to the video and then let Steven talk about the program.
Hi everyone, my name is Steven Chen. I'm the founder of CollabX, and we are super excited to work with Techstars Taiwan to offer you all a 2-week startup pitch challenge. So, some of you might have heard about VCs talking about how a lot of startup founders are just not that great at their startup pitch. And that's a problem because your pitch is so important to the growth of your startup. It's critical for fundraising, for press, for recruitment, and most importantly, for customer acquisition. So that's why we're putting together this 2-week challenge to help you perfect your startup pitch. So here's what you'll get. You'll get to learn directly from expert mentors and experienced founders. People like Jason Wishnow, the co-creator of TED Talks, Stephen Shao, a YC alum who's raised over $10 million, and Sumit Minocha, who recently raised during the pandemic. You'll also get to build your confidence by practicing with your peers in small breakout rooms. You'll have the opportunity to pitch to Silicon Valley investors and thought leaders, including the investment team at Techstars and the editor-in-chief at Gizmodo.com. Finally, every participant will get personalized, specific advice and feedback. So if you want to improve and perfect your startup pitch, you go ahead and register now for free using the QR code and the link. Again, I'm Steven from CollabX. Thanks for listening, and see you soon.
So Steven is a serial entrepreneur, and he's also the Techstars partner supporting us doing the cross-border collaboration. So today, Mentor Madness just finished. Now this is another starting point for the pitch challenge. Thank you today, and now let's welcome our mentors to get on the stage and the teams. We will take a group photo.
So that's,
thank you.
Thank you, teams and mentors and audience. And then we'll get time for you guys to meet. I hope you guys enjoyed today.
对，那我们用中文一下提醒大家，就是 Mentor Madness， 我相信大家有点感受到一个团队上台，然后我们这样子密切的互动。那刚刚我也收到了 Mosaic 的这个他们的 manager 给我们一个 feedback， 说哇，我从来没有参加过一个活动，然后看到 mentors 这么立即的给予 feedback， 然后 mentors 还教新创团队该怎么说话。对，我们也收到了一些 feedback， 更希望也邀请大家帮我打上那2个现在先拍照。等一下大家出去，在这个接待桌也有这个 QR code， 邀请大家，你今天有任何感想，你也可以帮我们留下你的 feedback form。It's super important for us to improve。对我们来说，我们也希望能够推出更多更好的活动，像我们跟 Steven 一起推动这样子的一个 challenge， 也是鼓励大家，希望提升大家在 Go Global。我们一直都喊要 Go Global， 但如何 Go Global？ 我们认为如果一起来把 pitch 练好，那 It's all free。但是这2 weeks 我们帮你带来了刚刚 Steven 跟大家介绍那些重量型的讲者，然后在美国他就是 TED Talk co-creator， 会来帮大家教我们 storytelling。我们让我们的这个在我讲话的时候，请 mentors 帮我就是往上站 ，Sophia 帮我引导一下。对，那也欢迎就是今天感谢全程参加到底的这些 Startup Teams 坐在台下。那我们等一下的 Networking Time 啊，我相信大家也迫不及待要跟我们今天的 mentors 互相拍照，等一下互相可以交流名片。那我们邀请团队帮我们站上台。好，那我们邀请女生可以站着，因为女生穿裙子。团队是男生且穿裤子的，没有男生穿裙子吧？好，帮我团队男生往前站，可能需要蹲一下。刚刚我收到摄影师的指示，没关系，你帮我站，没关系。我们要团队，你是团队吗？来 ，Pitch Team， 大家帮我往前哦，帅气，拿着它，来，那。 好哟，谢谢大家。那我要看，
我要看谁？
那里，
看 Rocky 好。
哎，我们这样的亮光会不会大家
你跟他移过来吗？
往那边移？好，来，大家再移一下。这个灯光对吗 ，Jimmy？居民要带大家做什么手势吗？我们来一个谈笑风生，就是大家现在跟旁边的人互相讲话一下。来，谈笑风生就开始讲话，你跟旁边的朋友问一下。所以谢谢你今天来。什么？来 ，Angel 是什么？你说这是什么？哦，这样对吗？这样对吗？这是 stop 啊。台湾。OK， 那我们 make a joke， 来 PTA 台湾 Techstars， 耶！好哦，谢谢大家，谢谢你们，谢谢。讲师，我们还有很多 brand food 准备给你们。
你把它结束了没？关了。